episode of Shipwrecked, we are joined by Sam Ewen, the head of CoinDesk Studios and Web3, and our first repeat guest, Defaced Studios, aka Kane. We dive into a Kanye apology to the Jewish people, Gurt and Kane's love of puppets, a comparison of SBF to Elon and Steve Jobs, a few of Redbeard's fun games, why we collect art, and so much more. As always, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Redbeard, D's, and guests may own NFTs discussed.
Oh, so why don't we introduce everybody here today? We have Sam Ewen from CoinDesk. Sam is an amazing person, been in crypto for a long time. CoinDesk is one of my favorite outlets. Sam's been working hard. We'll get to that in a minute. And we have this guy, his name is Moshe. Moshe, what's your last name again?
What's going on?
This is Kane, also known as Defaced Studio. Sometimes he's an artist. Sometimes he just is a musician or... what else do you do, Kane, by the way? What do you do, by the way?
Puppeteer.
Yeah, violin.
You play violin?
No.
Okay. Sorry.
Keyboard, yeah.
Keyboard, right. If you could be a musician, what would your musician name be?
Oh, I don't know. That's a hard one, isn't it?
What kind of music would you play?
Probably some funk.
Like funk?
Yeah,
Not blues?
So. No, not blues. I like Prince, so probably...
I could see you like playing a mean like harmonica, telling us
like
about
Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, like telling us about like, how upset you are that day and
No, I couldn't do it.
What happened?
I don't really like blues music that much.
You don't like music?
No, blues music.
You don't like blues?
No, I'm not a big blues guy. Are you?
I like Emmett Cohen. He plays jazz.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Different genre.
Very different genre, right? Blues and jazz are not even close.
I could just see him doing like a harmonica in the mouth with the keyboard.
Yes.
Like both at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, no, I'd hate that.
No?
You can't do that
Too
either?
much coordination.
Yeah.
Would you be a rapper?
I'm thinking it's just like a bass.
A bass?
Yeah, I like bass.
He's like doing the low end.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that. But
Keeping a funky...
Exactly.
yeah,
Nice.
Is there a
I like
future
bass.
in where you're going to do a musical with your puppets?
I don't know. I talked about doing an album with someone anonymous and just making loads of music videos. Like, we both art direct music videos and stuff and just put it out and just don't tweet about it at all. Just let
Nothing.
it live somewhere. And then come back 10 years and be like, oh, we made this 10 years ago. That whole album and no one knows about it.
You know
I feel like
what?
that'd be
You
fun.
really, truly only care about the art, sir.
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, first of all, let's get...
So we're going to be on the lookout
for
album art that semi-resembles your style, maybe.
I think Kane's going to do like a partnership with Sam Spratt, an anonymous music video, like musician things. That's what I'm
Like a Genesis story with puppets.
Yes, and we're never going to know it's them until
we're
20 years from
a
now.
few years away from just having like the AI voice / music
Oh, for sure.
being a force that you might want to listen to. Like, I've heard some things that aren't bad already, and you could put an influencer
The cool thing is
behind
like
it.
when they have Kanye sing like other people's songs. I don't know if you heard that yet. It's pretty incredible.
Or like when it's just somebody talking on a mic and then they put Kanye's
Yes,
voice over it. And it's
over
like,
it.
holy shit, like that just made whatever.
It's
that
like,
person
I
wanted.
love Jews. And it's Kanye's voice. Right?
Is that what you would do with the Kanye
Oh,
voice?
for sure. I'd be like, can we...
You'd have him like
Can you
recite
get
the
the
Torah.
thing and then see if you can do it? Okay. So I'm going to be Kanye now.
That on through the podcast.
Yeah.
I think
I feel that I want to clear some things up as Kanye West.
you're channeling your inner Kanye to get this out.
Yeah. I
I truly actually do believe that Jewish people are good people. Thank you.
You get that? Okay. Kane.
Now we got that out.
Yeah, now we got that out of the way.
Yeah, hi, Benny, yeah.
Got the inner Kanye out of the system. Kanye's
Yeah.
behind us. at all
Kanye's
times.
right
Like,
there.
he's on the mind.
Our leader.
Rim Kardashian.
Next to Johnny Cash. I love Johnny Cash. Congratulations on your sellout
Cheers, mate.
to Gurt. I know this was a project you put a lot of time and effort into, and while we're sitting here, it's been sold out. So let's give it congratulations.
Cheers, everyone.
We have
Thank
some
you.
special effect clapping we can put in there. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell
We
us
need
a
the
little-
roadcaster.
Why tell us a little about Gurt? I know that
Yeah.
he seems like an unhappy fella. most
Yeah,
of the time.
so I'll give you a bit of BTS behind the curtain sort of stuff on it. So it was initially, we wanted a sort of narrative figure to explain like Star Maker related stuff. Like, so for my last release, we were sort of planning out, and we wanted like all the dialogue on Twitter, everything to have like a certain tone of voice, but it would come off as like, oh, it just sounds like you're being a dick to people, or like something like it doesn't compute, like there's something narratively that doesn't translate. So we're like, okay, what if we have like a character as like a stand-in to like talk to the audience as like sort of mouthpiece and like connect the different IPs and the worlds and stuff. So we're like, okay. So we come up with this puppet for Miami, this little character at a VHS shop. And yeah, that's where it sort of came from, really. And we're like, oh, this is quite fun. And it just sort of naturally progressed and rolled into this.
The puppeteers were great. I mean, they were...
Yeah, he was...
kind of putting everybody
Yeah,
down.
he was something.
What do you get... Yeah, what do you... Tell me about how you love to insult people. I feel like that's something
That's a lie. That's propaganda.
You get pleasure out of that.
No, that's bullshit. That's not true.
Gurt seems to always like, and I feel like Gurt is just a part of you.
Well, I don't know where you get that from. So that's crazy.
No?
You said that.
Well,
no,
you created it.
I think he comes across quite nice in the videos. I think it's quite naive.
Oh, he's just English.
In all the content. Yeah, I don't think
Okay,
he's
I
like.
see. Okay.
Like I don't like in the video content we like produce for the drop with like the narrative sort of stuff. He like loses his job. Then like this manager guy swoops in and is like, you'd be such an interesting like muse for like this NFT collection and stuff. So I feel like he's taken advantage of like some degree.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know if he's like,
he doesn't get any royalties.
Yeah, I think he gets fucked over.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What happens if he sues you?
We'll find out. That'd be just go and Judge Judy. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Judge Judy.
Oh my God, that's
She's
such a
still
great
going.
idea. She's still going, I think.
She might be the richest judge in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Like
She made a lot of money, like
Yeah.
syndicating her show. That would be great if you did an episode of
fake
you and
suit.
Gurt suing you.
The manager, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be great. So I feel like you use puppets a lot now, and tell us a little about that because I think that you're probably the only artist in the community that does that.
Yeah, sure. So I just think like artistically, like it's such a good vehicle to get if you do characters and stuff like into the real world. I think like so underutilized. Like it's like criminal. Like it's like if you design characters, you're like, okay, how do we make it physical? Like, or have their character come to life. I feel like it's the best way to do it. Like people do animation and stuff, but there's not that direct human to like character interaction. I feel like with early Muppets, where they'd have like celebrities on and like have like this dialogue between the characters, and you see the celebrities like literally with eye contact with the
I love those old
Kermit
shows.
or something.
Yeah, like
And
when
it's
Star
like-
Wars was on, and they I still have that
crazy.
episode I watched.
Yeah, it was great. There's plenty of them, and I feel like that sort of like there's something like there which I'm interested in, and I feel like with the event in Miami, we're doing one this week, like having the puppet there and people talking to him, and it's like a direct contact with your world you're making an IP, and I find it such an interesting thing. Like you could have like any sort of character come to life as long as it like translates physically.
And you love Jim Henson, right?
Yeah, Jim Henson, all that stuff, and Sesame Street. But yeah, that's what I'm sort of gravitated towards too. And it's like such a good thing for events. Like, so you just need a puppeteer and a puppet, and you create something which is it's not real. It's not real, but like it feels like something there.
People are probably more honest with a puppet than they are with the actual people.
Because you get to put on the mask of like,
Exactly.
oh no, this isn't me.
This
is
isn't really
Gurt.
real, and then I'm going to play with it. It's like, I mean, I feel like it's more easy to talk. I loved when I was talking to Gurt in Miami. It was like, you're having fun with it.
Yeah.
Right? There's something kid-like about it also. Like when you're a kid, you talk to a puppet.
Yeah, and I think that's what I like in art as well. Like that sort of nostalgia bait sort of stuff. And like, it's like everything where people collect shit. It's like Pokemon and all this old stuff. And I feel like when you can combine all that like nostalgia and create something for people to come to at any age, it's still like...
Are you planning on doing maybe like a puppet show where you and I can get interviewed? I would love to get interviewed by one of your puppets.
Yeah, that's something I want to do for a couple of years now, and like have like a little 70s like setup, like old school, like is it the Dick Cavett show? Is it
Yeah,
Dick Cavett?
yeah,
like
yeah.
that sort of thing with a puppet and
The
stuff.
puppet pod.
Yeah,
It's
puppet
Puppet
pod.
Pod.
Yeah,
That's such a great name.
I want to do like, do you know at the Eric Andre show?
Yes.
Like, I want to do something like that with puppets, where it's just like
Oh my
fucking
God. I would quit my job to work on that with you.
crazy. I think yeah.
You would stop working at the school.
You have a job?
No,
I do have a job. That's the only thing I might ever. If you tell me like we're gonna create like an Eric Andre type of show with Web3 puppets,
Yeah, that's what.
I am
Yeah,
quitting my
that's
job,
the pitch.
starting over. That's
Yeah.
what it is. I
Going-
love that. You don't have your pitch is good enough.
Yeah, so we're
If that was your elevator pitch, you just won everybody over.
So I was sitting on that for a while. So I was like, okay, like we got this drop out of the way, and now we can start like playing with the world and like where things go and stuff. So I feel like that's one thing I definitely want to do.
That's
And
amazing.
get like people on and like D's on and talk to Puppet for fucking
Yeah.
30 minutes and not
Get in
know
a
what's
fight
going
with a
on.
puppet.
Yeah, yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Do you remember Little Penny?
No.
It was when Penny Hardaway was in the NBA.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
and he had his little puppet that was
Yes,
voiced by
yes.
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
I love puppets. I think it's great. I think talking about puppets, Sam. What do you think?
I am a puppet. Yeah.
I think CoinDesk would be so great if they had maybe like a puppet interview with a puppet. Like that would be
Not sure it's on brand for us, but
right. That's so on brand for CoinDesk. No, but CoinDesk is amazing. How long has CoinDesk been around now for?
10-year anniversary in May.
10 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
And how long have you been with CoinDesk?
Almost 2 years now.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it's been that long.
Yeah.
How many people did they start with? I guess one, but like, you know.
Yeah,
like,
I think it was like just 3 or 4 people until it got bought by DCG.
Wow. And what's their like viewership now? Like,
I mean, depending on the story,
right.
like when FTX broke,
Yeah.
we were at like 15 million a month.
Right.
Yeah. That was,
So it kind of fluctuates. I'd say 7 to 15 million, depending on what's happening in crypto.
Right. So like FTX, a puppet. I feel like the puppet definitely will garner more attention.
I mean, an SBF puppet, honestly,
Oh,
would like kill right now.
ooh. Are you taking notes down?
that's
That'd
a
be
puppet
fun,
right
yeah.
there.
I would voice the SBF puppet. I could do it. Do you think you do an SBF? He didn't really. He was like, this is how he talked. He was like, he had a little lisp.
Yeah.
He was like as he talked, he never looked at the screen. Did you ever notice that?
Wait, can you
Couldn't make eye contact.
Can we
you
like?
do that also?
Yeah, we have to AI the SBF voice for that.
Okay.
Can you give us a little more? More FTX?
What do you think of when you think of Sam?
Sam Ewen. So I have a lot to say about Sam Ewen.
We're talking
I
about
meant,
SBF.
Like,
yeah.
SBF.
Oh, sorry. There's a lot of Sams in my life, by the way. Sam
you love
Spratt, Sam
Sams.
Ewen, Sam.
Okay,
Wait.
I say Sam and you don't know.
No, but we should have an aside because Manny only realized yesterday that for the last week he's been sending me pictures of his kid because he thought I was a different Sam in his life.
And you know what?
Okay,
Benny probably is the type where he just put everyone in his phone as Sam. And
No, no.
last name.
No, actually, my phone actually has very different names to it. So Sam is Sam CoinDesk.
Which is
Okay.
Sam Spratt is Sam Spratt, the genius.
Okay.
I don't get Sam CoinDesk the genius.
No.
Interesting.
He just put
Yeah.
Sam CoinDesk.
Right.
He's like,
So I'm just like I have like different names. I think with Defaced, I
do you
used
have any
to have
Sam's with clouds?
Sam's. Then Sam's Clouds. Sam Clouds. I have a lot of Sam.
Wait, so which Sam did you think I was when you were sending me pictures of your child?
I thought you were. You are in a room, a little chat room that I created with my wife, Rachel, Sam Spratt's wife, me, and you. But it was supposed to be.
You made this chat?
Made this chat, but it was supposed to be Sam Spratt. And then last night, I'm like sending pictures. I was like, "Yo, Rachel, did you see the picture?" She's like, "Yeah." And then I said to Sam, "I was like, did you see? I went to paint with my kids at FIWO yesterday." And I was like, "Sam, did you see the pictures?" He goes, "No, you didn't send them to me." I was like, "What are you talking about? You were in the chat." This chat's been going on for like 3 weeks, by the way. And I've
easily.
been sending
Quiet
stuff.
the whole
And then
time.
I never got it. I looked at, and Rachel's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. You put the wrong Sam in." I was like,
No, she knew.
"What?"
Yeah,
She
exactly.
knew.
She
She
my
knew,
wife
yeah,
knew.
yeah.
She knew. They
She
all
wanted
knew.
me in there, yeah.
They just wanted me to keep doing it to see
Yeah.
how long it would go for. And then I was like, wait a minute. And then I looked, and then yeah.
No, I want to keep it going.
No, I'm gonna keep it going.
exactly.
I'm just gonna send things every once in a while, like,
Sam the genius.
just like Sam. Yeah. So, but what do I say? We're talking about Sam SBF.
We're talking SBF. And we're talking, what do you think?
So here's my take on it. My take is that I actually don't think SBF is the okay. I think he's not the best dude. Let me start by saying that, obviously. But with that said, he got caught, right? So, but there are plenty of people that you could probably look back at who are very famous, rich people who very much faked it till they made it. And then they got away with it. But now they're rich and famous. SBF was very close. He could have, if the bear market didn't happen, and he could keep going. I mean, listen, I am not saying Coinbase and Brian Armstrong are frauds either. That's not what I'm saying. And I get that SBF did some pretty bad things. With that said, I mean, Coinbase got lucky. The time that they started and the market that they hit, they were able to sustain themselves and get money and keep that going, right? So it's like that in any industry. I think, like, you know, you can look at Elon Musk and say the same thing. You could probably look at Steve Jobs and say the same thing. You know,
No way though.
Wait,
What?
are you comparing Elon Musk and Steve Jobs?
I think he is.
to what Sam?
Yeah,
did?
I think if you look at really their careers and their lives, they very much made stuff. They had something that was real, but very much sort
So
of.
there's like a hard difference for me.
Are you talking about
No, again, I'm not saying that.
what are you
yeah.
saying? Like selling the intangible to people? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah,
It's like
basically, they
selling
were.
ideas.
They're selling, like, you know, the Apple computer was just not great. Like, you know,
Yeah, but they weren't
the Microsoft-
defrauding their
But they weren't, like,
customers.
Taking
They weren't defrauding they weren't defrauding their customers,
But,
but
like,
they were
when you-
selling them something that they probably didn't need.
No, but you can come out with a shitty product, and if people buy it, that's on them,
Right.
right? But you can't say here.
Well, is it on them, or is it like? I mean, it is on them, but they're also sort of like, you know, the whole point of marketing is that they're feeding you stuff that isn't good. Look, people hate what's her name from the Theranos, right? Elizabeth Holmes. But there's a world where Elizabeth Holmes, if she kept going, she might have made it, right? I'm just my point. Like, I'm just saying, like, especially in Silicon Valley, people always faked it till they made it.
I need to change the name for Benny in my phone to Benny, not the genius.
No. Listen,
Benny,
hear me out. Hear me out. Okay, ready?
Benny
Hear me out.
Outtake.
Did you watch on HBO?
we have to cut this whole thing. Benny's in like 50.
No. Don't cut any. Don't cut any. of it.
Elon Musk, Steve
Yes.
Jobs.
Hold on. Hear me out. Hear me out. Okay,
thing.
ready? Hear me out. Ready?
Same
Did you
guy.
watch the Lakers? The Lakers thing on HBO with Jerry
Buses?
Buss?
Yeah, of course.
I heard about it. I didn't see it.
It was phenomenal, right? But basically, and I went in this deep dive after I watched it. Jerry Buss literally 100% faked it till he made it. If the Lakers don't win the championship that year, there's a really good chance that he may not have the ability to continue the Laker dynasty and how to sell the team, right? So I'm just saying, right? He made stuff up. He was just like, on the whim, let's do this, let's do that, right? You look back and you'd be like, wait a minute, how the hell did he pull that off? But he did. Now, again, I'm not saying he defrauded people, and I understand that.
I am
But-
saying he defrauded people.
But what?
I am saying he defrauded people.
Who?
SBF.
Oh, SBF did. But let me ask you a question. How about this? Do you really think there's a difference between, like, SBF and, I'll give you two examples, Binance? Because I don't think there's any difference between the two at all. And I think there's no difference between SBF and how about EOS, right? EOS raised $1 billion.
I would say
think
that's
about this.
way more fair than the Elon. And
No, okay. Yes, I'm not saying I'm
Jobs.
comparing
Steve
them.
Jobs.
Nor Steve Jobs. But my point is that you can become a hero, right?
No.
You could become people have paths in their lives where they can very much become either a hero or a villain.
Yeah.
And I think there's a very fine line, a very thin line between those two things. There's a world where I think SPF gets away with it, and we're like, yo, SPF is the god of
Bernie
crypto.
Madoff got away with it for a long time.
Correct.
Like
Right.
that wasn't like a 3-year stint.
No, but agreed.
And it was a similar thing where you're
Yeah.
taking somebody's money who's giving it to you thinking it is either safe or being invested in something, and then it's actually just going to somebody else.
Right.
That is similar, but it lasted way longer. Like this
Way longer.
came out because a lot of it happens on chain in a decentralized way that's public. And it's a little harder to do this stuff because it is.
But would you be shocked if Binance, they find out Binance
Oh
did
no,
the same thing?
no,
right?
no.
Yeah, like
I'm
would you
not
be
keeping any money on
like
Binance.
EOS? That's what I'm saying.
I
So,
think
like,
EOS is worse than Binance.
I think
like,
EOS is way worse.
EOS
And my
is like the biggest, most failed ICO that
Ever.
like mind fucked a whole generation.
well,
of people.
let's be honest. The creators, Brendan,
Brock Pierce.
Brendan, Brock, and what's his name? Right? I
That's a
mean,
good name.
I mean,
they're-
Brock is like 4'11",
They're-
in, like Puerto
they're
Rico
all-
running
they're all
for
walking around-
government offices.
right? And they're all walking around here at NFT NYC, Larimer, and all these guys, and they made hundreds of millions of dollars off of. I mean, it was air. Right? They never even created anything. I mean, they created and then they said they gave it to the community, but they're frauds, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, for
just
sure.
as much as SBF. So my point, I guess, back to it is I'm not comparing them to Elon Musk, right? But
Well,
my
we'll
point
cut
is,
Steve Jobs poke.
my point is, they're walking around and they're making business deals, and they're shopping. They're doing things in the industry as if they're good people.
Yeah.
And they're heroes. And really, they got away with it. They just
to me,
faked
they're
it
like
long
Richard
enough
Hartz.
to make it. What?
Like Richard Hartz. You know who he is?
Yeah, Richard. So like Richard Hart, I'm not going to say anything because I'm really scared of those.
Like
The Hart Army. Yeah, and like they're just weird people. But yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, listen,
They're like a cult. Like at least the EOS people have at this point had to accept.
I think agreed.
But like I think the Hex people still think there's like a way out.
Well, he puts pictures up of him wearing the god awful jumpsuits, right? It's like so bad, and they're like and owning Lambos and whatnot, and they just still believe it. But like, look, I my point is that Richard Hart made enough money, and he's probably very happy. But again, like EOS and all these guys, like I just like Dan Larimer, like I remember like my friends would chat with him, and he was talking about how great, amazing EOS was. He's like, well, it's not my fault now. What do you mean it's not your fault? You raised $1 billion for an ICO that went nowhere. Like, he's a fraud. He shouldn't be allowed to be working anywhere in the crypto industry or anywhere. He should be in jail just as much as SBF. But yet, his path in that thin line, my point is he's okay. He's fine. Oh, no, Dan Larimer, it wasn't his fault. It was no one's fault, and they gave it to the community and blah, blah, blah. They make up some kind of story. So I just find it fascinating that SBF is the villain, which I think he is, but it's almost easy to have a villain sometimes.
We need a Beeple piece that makes fun of all the EOS people.
Oh my god! Because the problem is that NFT people. I mean, you were around back then, and you were. Kane doesn't know what's going on. Yeah, he has no idea what he's fucking talking about. But like back in the day, EOS was huge. People
it was like a top 10 coin, wasn't it?
For sure.
Easy.
I think it went up to like 5 or something at some point. It was
in that 2017 cycle.
2017, then 2018. That last little cycle we had before everything started crashing for like 9 months. EOS was like the top coin, one of the top coins in the market. So I mean,
I think the difference though is EOS is Theranos, right? It's here's a promise but with nothing behind
Fair
it.
enough.
And we're going to take a lot of investor money and we're going to take a lot of public money.
Right.
And Holmes was taking public money because she was out giving people fake blood tests, right?
Right.
So EOS is that. And that is still, frankly, 96% of all NFT projects too, is the same thing, right? So we're in that idea where people are still so focused on getting rich versus so focused on like what a creative vision is and how people can actually deliver on a creative vision for something that makes them happy, right? And that's half the value. But I think the difference I think with SBF is imagine you put your money in the bank to buy a house, right? And then your money's gone. Like
I don't disagree with that.
And that's where because I agree. I think that he just got over his skis. And frankly, if he had just lost all his VC money, I would have been fine.
Right.
It's the fact that he lost like the dry cleaners money that I don't
depositors.
Like. Yeah.
I think that the thing with SBF, like I agree. Like, listen, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I think that he's brilliant.
I think you said everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need to say anything more about SBF.
Listen, the other thing is that I do think it was important for the community though for this to happen, and I hate to say this, but like, I don't know enough about Tether, but
Here we go.
Let's just tie it all together with some Tether
or Binance or whatnot. But,
stable coins.
But us having having these sort of implosions, I always think is very bullish in the space. I just think long term.
Well, 3 Arrows, Voyager. I mean, we had quite a year last year.
I mean, Celsius.
Yeah.
It was basically every centralized C5 product.
Right.
Yeah. It's not even. It's not DeFi.
And it was just dominoes until it got to the banks, and that's how it happened. But let's talk about some more important things that we care about. This plant.
We actually, Deez, you should talk about the plant situation here.
Yeah, what's going on? I mean, this is a beautiful. We've never had a plant in the center.
We've had more plants in this studio than any other place to record.
Very green.
The people who rented this out to us, they basically used to have a creative agency here, and they have like over 2,000 plants all along the walls, and they asked us if we wanted to take care of them, to which I said absolutely not. Feel free to come and water them when you please, because I don't know the first thing about plants, and I'm struggling to keep a cactus alive, like at home.
Yeah, my wife is a plant lady.
It's tough.
And she spends more time on the plant sometimes than me.
We got a new house, and the realtor gave us this plant. And it looks like a very simple plant. It looks like it cannot be this hard to fuck up. I think you're supposed to water it once a week. I think I am watering it once a week, but when I touch it, it doesn't feel damp. And then the tips of the leaves are getting brown. And I'm like, maybe I need to water it more than once a week. So then I start watering it twice a week. And now the base of the bowl is like water's coming out of it. I'm like, oh, maybe that's not the move. So I'm learning how to keep a plant, but this thing is dying on me. And I'm at the point now where maybe I just don't water it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Kane, do you have plants?
I had one for a while, for like a year. Then I couldn't be bothered. I was like, it's not doing it for me, this one thing. So I just left it and watched it die.
Like, this is nice because there's
this is cool.
It's like everywhere
really
you look,
nice.
It's like we're in like a jungle.
Yeah.
It feels fresh.
I've always wanted a koi pond in the back
Yeah?
of my house.
Is that next bull run?
Yeah.
With plants
You're-
or just...
Yeah, no
Yeah,
fish.
like,
Some of
Yeah.
those kois can get pricey.
I know. I want to get like a lot of plants, and I want to like just a nice
Zen garden.
yes.
Yeah.
To just go to.
I could just imagine you with like a mat and then
Doing
some
yoga.
little rock
yeah.
formations,
Yes.
and then you just do like a little meditation
Just,
thing,
I'm just gonna sit there and just
Tai
like,
Chi,
and then
maybe.
your kids are just screaming
and
inside.
out of
and you-
nowhere to be like, Daddy! They'll jump into the koi pond and try to eat the koi.
I was gonna say like you photos in the koi pond
Yeah.
is your entire Instagram.
We should do that.
Sat in the pond.
We should make some AI of that.
I could probably
You
come
could
up with
probably
something.
do that. By the way, you didn't know this, but Deez is a phenomenal
AI artist.
AI artist.
Oh, great.
Slowly working on it.
He has been taught by the great Claire Silver,
Oh, he
And-
We had a 25-minute learning session on a podcast.
and I've been learning from him. I'm still not good at it.
I told Redbeard this week I'm going to sit down with him and try
Yeah.
to teach him
This
everything
is
I know.
one of the things that we're
what you been using? Mid-journey?
Right now, Midjourney. I started out with Dall-E,
Yeah.
and I've used a couple of these like websites that use Stable Diffusion,
Mm-hmm.
but I really like Midjourney.
V5 is
yeah.
a beast.
Yeah, we started out. I think when I started Midjourney, it was V3,
Same. Yeah.
and then V4. I really like V4 for like my style, but then V5 for the more realistic stuff. I was trying to make artwork that was like my favorite photographers with V5, and that's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And they just came out with this describe feature, which is insane. Like you take a piece of Defaced
Yeah.
work, plug it in described, it'll give you 4 different prompts that it
Wow.
thinks your
Yeah.
work would look off of.
It's really crazy. With
Like
that.
I
It's
kind of
so
want to do it
fast.
right
Yeah.
now. with
Let's
my
do it.
head.
Let's do it right now.
I'm gonna do it.
Let's
with-
do it.
Make my job a lot
While
easier.
we're talking, does CoinDesk ever? I'm curious. Do they ever use AI to write their articles? Or do you have like a company policy you're not allowed to do that?
No, I mean we explore it, and that's really for. I mean, we don't use it right now. And anything we use AI for imagery, and I do a fair bit of that.
Okay,
But we always credit it so people know
right.
that we are utilizing it.
Do you think that's important? Do you guys both think that when you use AI, you have to credit to
Yes.
AI?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 100%.
How do you feel though if you're on a website and the copy of the fact is done by AI?
Yeah.
Do you want a disclaimer that the fact?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: if you put my name, like I went to ChatGPT, and and I was like, "Who is Sam Ewen?" And it wrote the most glowing biography of me, but like 60% of it was like fake,
false.
right? And like clearly, all it's doing is scraping the internet and finding enough things to tie the bits together, and it made me sound amazing, but it just made me not me. And so I think anyone who's utilizing it doesn't realize how much editorial you have to do to make it actually correct.
No. Yeah, for sure.
And so anyone who's using it for articles, and I think a lot of people are doing this, by the way, and I think it's going to be I'm personally looking into like validation systems so that every article potentially has a stamp on the chain that says this.
Yeah.
is,
So like
yeah.
my students at school, we have to have like right now what we have is I'm trying to find an AI to tell me that what the students are making is either AI or not AI.
They have that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ChatGPT came out with that.
Yeah, they came out with their own thing after a while. So,
Yeah.
but it's pretty crazy how fast it's going. Wait, can we see it?
Well, these are just like what are descriptions?
Yeah.
the
So I plugged in
descriptions
my
of the
Defaced
piece.
and friend, and then I let it show me the 4 descriptions.
That's kind of interesting.
So the interesting thing I found that way is like recently I was making one for
cool.
Brian Brinkman.
Yeah.
Has this like very noticeable palette. It's kind of like these
Yeah.
pastelly.
Yeah, it's really cool. Pinks, blues.
So I was trying to get that in there, and I plugged in his Twitter profile picture, which is him.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
And it
I saw that, yeah.
and it told me about this artist. Like yours says Ken Sugimori.
Yeah.
Like I haven't heard of him.
Yeah.
So then I would look him up. Well, like the same thing happened with Brian's, where
Yeah.
it said like this artist, like John Bergerman.
Yeah,
And
know
I
John.
was like, oh, holy shit! Like
Yeah.
that does.
He's done some NFT stuff.
And then I started
Yeah.
like trying to implement like in the style of John Bergerman with like a 3 weight or something in
That's
my prompt.
so cool.
And then it made it look like a Brian Brinkman.
Yeah.
And then you like add in a dash of chaos, and then you just sit there for like 2 hours, and you just like tweak one word, and then you let the
See what I'm
chaos.
saying? This guy's an artist.
For sure.
It's
Well, he's
We don't need
he's
Kane. I just
I'm
think
looking
prompt
at
artist,
Pen now.
prompt artist. Kane, we don't. I think you should stick to just puppetry.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to lose my job.
You're
Oh, wow.
So
That's cool, yeah.
that's what it was picking up.
Oh, well, that's great.
Some of the Pokemon.
That's a compliment, yeah.
Yeah. But that's one of the cool things that I found, where if you're running out of words in your head to describe something,
Yeah.
this new feature, describe, literally is like, it's making words I don't even think exist. Like it
Yeah.
told me on one of them the word like teeth core. And I was like, what the fuck is teeth core? Like the illustration showed a big grin with a bunch of teeth, but I'm like, that can't even be a real word
They're making up their own language.
to talk to each other.
Well,
So
but
like,
again,
that's how we interface.
It's because someone has a porn site about teeth core on the internet and it scraped it, right? Like so.
I mean, for the illustration of the art. Like,
yeah, exactly.
But we make up words when we talk to each other,
No doubt.
right? Broski. What the hell
Yeah.
is broski?
Oh, when's the last time you said that?
I don't know. It just came to
I
my head. I was
probably
trying
said it this week, yeah.
You said that word this week?
just learned about
yeah,
it.
probably.
You say broski a lot?
Not a lot, but like once a week maybe.
Have you been practicing?
I don't say it loud.
Have
I
you been
text it.
practicing your American accent? Because I've been practicing my
No.
English
Anyway,
accent.
Diesel, what talk about
No.
scripters? No, I'm
Back-
interested. I'm interested because you get these descriptions like how if you feed the description back
Yes.
in,
So that's the
is
next
it ever accurate to the original or is it not at all?
Never in the style that you think it would be. But let me do one, and I'll give you an example here.
Deez, have you used Stable Diffusion? Someone wrote a prompt suggestion service with Stable Diffusion. So you could take your description and put it into Stable Diffusion and it would spit back another prompt for you that is interpreting that.
You're
And
going layers into
Yeah,
it.
and there's like an amazing layer
There was
system.
like a whole thing I saw where people were using like Chat GPT to output like kind of the different descriptors in a grid, and then mix and match the grid to get
Love that, yeah.
whole slew of prompts to then run through. Here's the pink and blue robot with blue
getting
eyes
nervous?
in
Are
the
you
style of
getting
Ken
nervous?
Sugimori,
Not
dark
really,
red
no.
and light beige, reinterpreted human form, gigantic scale, hyperbolic expression, G-Auto, playful cartoonish illustrations.
I'm going to use that for a bio. Yeah. That's
So
cool.
not-
Yeah. I
Let me
get
see, let me
it.
see, let me
Yeah, it's okay.
I want to see what's better.
So I fed
Kane
it
or
my
this?
Defaced.
Okay.
Can lose my job.
But here's my issue, right? Which is like,
It's not even close, but
I don't want to be the person who is creating things in the style of Defaced,
no.
right? I want to be the person who other people are saying in the style of.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference that don't think people are getting, that anyone can create. I was doing, I put it up on my Twitter. I was like imagining future audio systems in the style of architects, right? So I was like, what does a Sonos system designed by Zaha Hadid look like? And the outputs were incredible, but I was like, but it's still,
Yeah.
it's sucking in so much Zaha work that like it's derivative, and Zaha Hadid, R.I.P., is not getting any credit nor
attribution.
or like a couple cents on every search that is outputting that, which is I think again where the blockchain comes in. But I do think, and that's what I keep telling people. They're like, well, do you worry about creatives? And I'm like, no, because great creatives are the ones who break the rules and figure out their style that hasn't been done.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and that's where I think great art needs the human touch.
Yeah.
Because like these can be an amazing artist utilizing these systems, but is that going to break through? Because it's all derivative based on what the model has.
No, I agree, and I feel like I think you hit it on the head. The creativity part, right? I think there'll be a time when AI is going to get super hyper intelligent, and we're going to be at a point where it's going to be hard for us to tell the difference in the Turing test and all that stuff. But the creativity to me is key. You know, when I watch Claire's things, like, and I showed my daughters, you know, like
I should say what Claire's doing is way different too.
Yeah, but her create. I mean, she's coming up with these crazy sort of creative ideas on her own. You know, my daughters look at this stuff and like, oh my god, this is so pretty. It's so nice, right? You know, and that's all coming from her creativity, right? She happens to be obviously a supreme, excellent prompt genius, right? She understands and has.
She's also like training her own models, and then
right? That's a big deal.
Blending those models,
correct?
And then
I don't think everybody really fully understands that.
No.
Right.
A lot of people look at like what we just did on Midjourney. Like she has done maybe a couple pieces like that, but it's very clear, like in the piece description, that like this was prompt only on DALL-E, like with this tech stack, but 9 times out of 10 what you're seeing is like the different models that are trained and then either cross-pollinated, or she's been doing more like the video stuff lately,
which is really cool. I want to do one with Elric. I wrote a script already.
Oh,
it's me wrestling a dinosaur.
Okay.
And then I kill the dinosaur
with what?
My bare hands.
Oh,
this is all going to be done in Stable Diffusion.
So it's a documentary.
No, yes, exactly. And then and then I take the dinosaur skin and I make it into my clothing, and I take its skull and I put it into a hat, and then I go home to my family where we eat the dinosaur egg for dinner. I put my kids to sleep, and then later that night I wrap myself with my wife around a woolly mammoth blanket, and we watch the Aurora Borealis.
That went on for a really long time.
He thought about this.
Have you watched Primal?
Script. That's what we're gonna do.
Did you watch Primal?
That reminds me of Primal. Yeah.
That's gonna be my stable. Stable.
But have you watched the show Primal?
Yeah. It's in the first season.
You just need to watch
like
it.
That. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good. It's made by the guy who made Samurai Jack.
Oh, okay.
It's like
I love that
as a caveman fighting dinosaurs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like an adult cartoon.
Yeah.
Okay. It's very little dialogue,
very violent,
but good sounds.
So this is my directorial debut.
Yeah, you do it at the start of Primal.
To be very fair, because I have no idea how to do any of this stuff.
Yeah, I just want to talk about like when you put in the prompts of the different artists, and I feel like as an artist, that's what we do, but we don't verbalize it. So it's also like, but now it's verbalizing it. So like, I might look at Jim Henson designs, Nintendo designs, and some other shit, and I'll put them together, and I'll do it in my head, but I'll still be using them as inspiration, because I don't think anything, very, very rarely is anything truly original, like, except maybe cave paintings, but even that's derivative of nature, so it's like, how far do you go?
Yeah, I mean, I tweeted today about, like, tools, right? Like, you know, there was a time when digital photography was looked at like cheating. There's this, my wife was telling me about all this stuff, like how to do landscape portraits when they were able to take them outside because the oil-based paints were easier to put in tubes. The artists were like, yeah, that's cheating. You can't do that by standing outside. You have to do it by memory, right?
Yeah.
Like she was telling me, I was learning this. She gave me all these articles last night. I tweeted about today.
Is that on plein air?
What?
Is that like impressionist or is that?
Yeah. So then, but the impression is even better. I just tweeted about today how they there was basically they were looked at like as a joke.
Yeah.
And in France, they had this group of people who would decide who were the best artists, and they would put on this big show, and they wouldn't let the impressionists. So the impressionists basically made their own show. I can't make this up. It's exactly what we're doing, right? And I want to see the words right because like I do not know French. Sorry, JPM, but like
I can't wait for this pronunciation.
Yeah, here we go. It was called the Salon des Refoues. Did I say that well?
That's pretty good.
Did I say that well?
I'm not French.
So, you're English, doesn't
yeah, you're the
He's like right. He's like same.
Don't people
same
from London?
What was that, Benny?
Don't people
That's a bit racist, Benny.
I thought people like in Europe just speak all their languages.
No,
I was a kid, by the way. I always thought that. They're like, oh, you live in Europe. You speak 18 languages.
You speak European.
It was called the Salon was the event.
Okay.
And they did the Salon des Refuses, means I guess you're refused by the salon. And the specific painting that was the most famous was from
Can I ask? I wonder if the refuses is more like refuse, like garbage.
it could be.
I don't know etymology enough, but
Yeah.
both work.
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not French.
Surprise.
Not like this guy. But Monet made a painting that was called The Luncheon on the Grass, which is a very famous painting. And they put it up there, and my wife was showing me things about how people were saying, like the next day in the papers when they were talking about how bad it was, and it was a joke, and all these things, and they just but what happened was that they made their own event, and everybody wanted to see how bad it was, so they all showed up to see how disgusting it was and how stupid it was. And all of a sudden everybody's like, yo, wait, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then that's how Impressionism started to become popular. So I think the same thing is true now. It's and I was trying to compare it to AI because Bat had, tweeted something about it similar. And I guess to me, it's all the things that we're doing, like this digital art renaissance, AI art, everybody's sort of like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. But it's good. We're doing it on our own to create sort of the environment to show people that it's legit,
If you look, I went down a rabbit hole, I'm going to say a month ago, where I Googled what was the first major photo exhibit at a museum. And I believe it was 1973. And it was scandal. The art world was absolutely not. And, there was one in 73, I think, in Europe, and 74, I think, was the first one in the U.S. And the traditional art world was like, this doesn't work for us, right? And now, of course, we look at it and there's major photography exhibits. So I think that arc is for everything.
Yeah, 100%. I think it keeps running true till now. I mean, Warhol's most famous first photography was the photography he took of the ambulance, right? The car crash, right?
And the electric chair.
Right? And people thought you can't, or Mapplethorpe when, the nudity of the guy in the suit. And, then all of a sudden, as time goes on, people's views change. And I think it's going to happen. That's the thing. And I think, Claire was, texting about that. I think that, the more that we stick to what we do, AI puppets, and different things that
AI puppets.
AI puppets. Oh,
It's a good comment.
oh, now we're talking. But I think that I agree. It's just a cycle in the markets that are especially in art, that we have to go through for people to accept. I mean, street art was not popular. It was looked at as ridiculous. And then all of a sudden this guy comes along, what's his, and everybody's like, hey, what's this guy's name? And he's all of a sudden,
Keith Haring?
No.
Basquiat?
Yeah. No.
Same-o.
What's wrong with me?
Chip Ferry?
Can we cut this until what the hell's wrong with me?
What, graffiti artist?
Yeah.
There's loads of fun.
Taki?
Banksy.
Recently.
Banksy?
Thank you. Banksy came along. What the hell's wrong with me?
Fucking hell.
And Banksy, right?
We need someone else.
We
sh-
stunt double.
We should get in.
We should get in. You forgot Banksy.
Banksy is forget his name. But Banksy started selling for tons.
You got Pranksy. It's very
We got
easily
Pranksy
to get him
that's,
caught up.
Yeah, that's it. I was thinking Pranksy sweeping floors. I don't know. I think art has that beauty to it. So I think we go through these cycles. What do you think on that, Sam?
Does CoinDesk write a lot about the art, or is it
Ooh, good
mostly about
question.
the ecosystem and the tech and the price and the?
No, I mean, we have 3 dedicated Web3 journalists, and we definitely, we cover, I would say, both the odd trash projects that just happen to get some interest, and then we also cover the Tyler Hobbs and Snowfroze of the world,
the fine digital art.
but I think that I think we are getting there, but I think people come to us still so much about understanding their investment.
Yeah.
That I think there are other places that are better for the cultural, even though we're pushing it, we're getting there. And I think that's part of the interesting thing about our ecosystem is because the folks who writing about the cultural, just honestly, most of them don't have a business model. The audience isn't there, right? So for people to learn about Kane, like there isn't, I think, that real sweet spot yet that is respected as an art publication that also understands the economics of the art industry within blockchain.
But there is the business of art. I mean, at some point,
There's a giant business.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So it's like more look like an investment, protecting their investment, how they're going to read that as.
I mean, my problem is, you mentioned Warhol, right? Warhol took 30 years,
30 years, yeah.
before he sold a work for $1 million.
Right.
And, no disrespect to most of the artists in our space, but they come in, a lot of them thinking, oh, I'm going to make $1 million tomorrow.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And we've seen some of that stuff. I mean, let's not start open editions, but like we've seen some of those dynamics. But I also think the people who are true creatives, I mean, the fact that Kane is sitting here and working with puppets, which are not a popular medium in that respect, except for the fact that I think you like said it so well. It's such an emotional medium, right? You can get because you have that real time feedback, which is incredible. And no one looks at Jim Henson now and thinks he was crazy, but they did
At the time.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
But he had a business model though. Like he understood.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a brand out of puppets.
It's not even that. The earliest Muppets were advertisements.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. They started out as ads, and then
Right.
people were like, "We love these things, so let's create a kid show."
Yeah.
Wasn't he also like on? I mean, Sesame Street was some of the earliest stuff, also, right? Like,
But I'm saying even before that, like Grover was a spokesperson for ads.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then becomes.
And that's
Grover.
but
Same with
do you think
Kermit.
his vision always was to
Yeah.
have a kid show?
No. Originally, he done it was called Sex and Violence. That's the original show for the Muppets.
Really?
Yeah.
Very kid friendly.
Yeah. So it wasn't. Yeah. But then he done the Muppets. Then Sesame Street was after that, I think.
It's so interesting to think about those amazing creatives if they were around today with the tools that we have. Like, can you imagine if like
100%.
Dolly had like
Dolly had Dolly.
like
Yeah,
like
fucking
that would
great.
be
You
nuts.
showed me those Alice in Wonderland artworks he done.
Yeah.
The Dali ones, they're insane.
Right?
But even like the Dark Crystal reboot they'd done, that's like the most expensive puppet production, like with Netflix. That was
Yeah.
like fucking, I don't know how much money that cost. It's like
Right.
20 million or something insane. Like,
But that's the thing, though. Like
it's crazy.
Like these tools today would never have come up with it because it has to have source material, right? So, like we were talking about Joe P's earlier, AI wouldn't create a Joe P's work as a genesis piece.
Correct.
It would only create it as a derivative. And yes, all art is derivative, but you still need the human imagination, I think, to break through to something completely unique.
Talking about human imagination, we're gonna play a little game with you guys. Okay.
it's like Saw.
Saw. There's a key behind your eye. You weren't paying attention, but we slid it in.
We're gonna play.
Hey, you
we're
use that rim
gonna play a
behind you
couple
to
of
get it
games.
I
out.
tried to watch it the other day. I thought it was so shit. I watched about 10 minutes of it.
A what?
Saw. Which one? The first one. I just couldn't just like.
Do you
couldn't
like
hack it.
movies?
Cut off your leg to get out of the
Yeah, I
bathroom.
like movies, but
Yeah.
I just.
Why you just don't like violence?
Mate, no, I just thought.
Did you ever watch
Didn't like
the
it.
scary movies or like the parodies?
I watched the Epic movie. Was it Epic movie?
Yeah, that's probably
Yeah, one. I don't fuck. I had Alvin and Chipmunks.
What?
It was so fucking weird.
That's
Epic? What are we talking about?
The
those
scary
parody
movies.
movies like in
They
the
had
mid 2000s.
they had Alvin Chipmunks in the scary movie.
In the Epic.
it
It's
was
called
this,
like
like-
Epic movie. It's like a spin-off of a spin-off.
Yeah,
Oh,
like Scary Movie 3 is I think like the pinnacle of it. Or Scary Movie.
that's
2.
when they went to the house with the guy
and
with
then
the
it
hand.
just gets downhill after.
Yeah, that one was
Because
just
the first 3 scary movies, they just did like all the popular scary movie
All the
tropes.
tropes.
Like
Yeah.
it's just every scary movie you ever heard of, they made fun of it, and then they like ran out of things to parody, so they just kept going for like the contemporary shit that the most people didn't know or get the jokes from, and then they spun off into fucking every other parody they could.
I haven't seen any, I think, since like the fourth one. My nanny just quit.
Wow,
Just now?
do you
My
blame her?
wife is texting me. I'm trying to tell her
yeah.
on a podcast, and she's telling me that our nanny just quit.
She
On
just
that
said-
note,
Bring the mood down, Benny.
Yeah,
Good.
really.
Good. My nanny quit.
All right, so if anyone is nannying,
yeah, if you
if you hear this and you're a nanny,
please, I will
Like-
pay in ether.
Except that Benny's on private on Twitter, so you can't message
All
him.
right,
message the podcast account.
it's gonna be an interesting next few weeks. Okay. On that
Do
note,
you want me to put a tweet out?
yeah, if anybody has a nanny, please DM me.
We have a lot of people
in the
I could
nanny
really use a
community.
nanny. I mean, I could do it without a nanny. I'm not incapable, but you
It
know,
helps.
The
Takes the edge
nannies
off.
make
It
life a
helps.
lot easier.
they make life a lot easier. I get to
Absolutely.
take showers.
They're worth their weight in gold.
Yep. I get to have relations with my wife.
Yeah, let's go on to the questions
Wait,
now.
is your nanny there during that?
No. But
Not
I
the
will
same
tell
route.
you this, that for you, none of you have kids yet, but you will see that.
I have a child.
Oh, you have a child.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's right. Sam was a great child. Totally forgot.
Wow.
Beautiful daughter that I ask him. I ask him advice about all the time because I'm afraid about my daughter growing up. But I feel like when you're married and you have, I have 3 kids. It's like a whole. I'm playing defense, like patterns, man. You don't even know
Your
what's
safety
going on
in the house.
Yeah, it's bad. So
Free
like
safety.
when you have 3 kids and you want to just take a shower sometimes, I mean it's really hard. So to think about like even have food and to eat sustenance for yourself is hard to find the time.
Okay.
So to have sex is even harder. You understand, Kane?
Yeah, great.
You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's cool, Benny. Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Fuck is this?
we're going to play a couple games.
So now that we
Yeah, now that we got into that.
Yeah. Great. Cool.
We're going to play a game. We're going to play a game called, you should put like a thing up. I'm going to name the games for now. Coin or not a coin?
coin
guys
or
ready?
not a coin.
Coin or not?
What's the definition of the game?
I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
It's simple. Just tell me if this is a real coin or it's not a real coin.
Are you giving me a ticker?
No, I'm going to give you. I'm going to tell you the name of a coin.
So you're going to say Libra, and we say was or is a coin.
Correct.
Or not. Okay.
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 Fuzzballs.
Yeah, coin.
Not a coin.
I'm going to go coin.
Are you keeping track of this?
We're keeping track where it counts.
You say not a coin.
I said not a coin.
You said coin.
Yeah.
Not a coin.
No, coin. Actual coin.
You'll get to find out now.
Spank chain.
Oh,
Coin.
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 It's a good game, isn't it, these?
Garlic coin.
Coin.
I think they all are. I'm just going to say yes to all of them.
I'm gonna go no on garlic.
Can you play the game?
Yeah, I am. That's my strategy.
Fucking Christ.
So only click D on
Okay.
each. Yeah.
All of the above.
Yeah, yeah.
Just put coin. Coin.
He's
No
on his
coin.
Not a coin.
Basically, Kane's not playing the game. Damn finance.
Damn.
DAM?
Damn.
Has to be a coin. You said finance. Like, it has to be.
Coin.
Like, this is a
Yeah.
Uniswap summer.
What are you gonna say, Kane?
When was it a coin?
No, I can't. Try to trick me now.
Yeah, it's definitely a coin. I had some.
Definitely.
Yeah, I invested a lot in
Had a lot
damn
down.
finance.
All right.
So I made
They were
millions.
putting dental dams on the blockchain. It was like a partnership with SpankChain.
I was about to say next one is Dentacoin.
Yeah, definitely a coin. Had all my net worth in there.
No.
No.
Yeah, definitely massive coin.
Okay. Z-verse.
I feel like that these Zverse is probably a coin. Like,
I think Kane has the right idea, which is that every one of these are coins.
yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking he's got to sit there and write the name of the coin.
Right.
Well, you don't think I have a? By the way, okay. Let me.
he used
let me.
Chat
Okay.
GPT.
That's what
and
I
he
said.
said.
By the way, that's what I did. I asked ChatGPT to make up some names for me. So now, do you want to change some of your answers, buddy?
No, 100% not. I
Yeah, it
think-
was actually damn finance. It was DAMN finance.
Right.
Yeah, you idiot.
Kodak coin.
Kodak.
Well, like the camera.
They had a coin. They pivoted.
I'm going to go no.
Oh, no.
That's a
yes, of course, yeah.
Is a coin.
How's it spelled, actually?
KODAK.
Okay.
Is it spelled
Wait,
the
were
same?
you really taking notes?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just kidding.
Is it spelled the same as the camera?
Okay, so here's
He's
the
got the
answer. Are you
notes.
taking notes?
He's got the
The
notes.
answer is that these are all coins.
Kane solved the riddle.
Kane won the game.
Kane.
Not
on the
only
second
are these
question.
not only are these all coins, these coins made a lot of money.
Fuck this shit.
Is
I-
Dentacoin the one that was the most valuable on that list?
I could go back and look, but I was looking up most of them. Kodak Coin didn't really do great. But
DentaCoin at one point was like a top 100
yeah,
token.
I think it was a top 50 actually
Like,
at some point.
That was on Binance. Like, people were legit saying, like, there was, I remember
None of these
DentaCoin
coins exist anymore. That was the point, by the way.
I remember DentaCoin specifically because
they
the
exist.
unit size. Like, there was like 1 trillion of them.
Yes.
And it was like, there was more of those than Doge. And you were like, well, if DentaCoin goes to 0.1 cents,
Right.
like,
What do you think?
I'm a
What do you
bazillion.
think DentaCoin's high price was?
in dollars,
Mm-hmm.
0.005 cents or something, maybe, but
Let's see.
I have no idea. I'm probably off by 2 orders of magnitude because there were so many of those tokens.
I'm trying to get my
in like
phone to-
2018, wasn't there like 10,000 different?
Yeah, it was like
crypto?
2017.
Yeah, or something like that.
December.
Yeah.
About when I remember.
Why doesn't it
thinking
show me?
Are you on CoinGecko? I'll tell you.
Yeah, let's.
We need the.
Oh, here we go. Ready? The all-time high was. Oh my god, this is crazy.
Are you gonna? You should really show us the market cap if you.
The all-time high was 0.0049 cents,
You were so close. You
Yeah.
said 0.005.
Yeah.
and
That's-
the
yeah.
low right now.
Look at the chart.
the the low right now is 0.000013. That's nuts. Let's just check. This is great. Actually.
Bullish.
What if we pump
So the
it?
market cap right now is 1.8.
No, but like, what if we pump it now?
So
Right?
So
we require half the supply right now.
At the peak bull market cap, it was almost $2 billion. And today it is right under 2 million. So it's just like 1,000x
Yeah.
away from all-time high.
What's it? Okay, the market cap for Spank Chain at one point was 200 million,
That was
and now it's zero.
That was like the
Pretty
point. Like they were trying to do like a decentralized OnlyFans, right?
It was. Oh my god, it was 65 cents. It is now low at 0.0013.
Yeah, all-time high. I mean, Spank Chain is one of those ones where it just never even had a pump for you. It was just down from the ICO in January. Like,
Right, but someone made $100 million. On it.
oh yeah, the founders.
Right,
did well.
exactly.
Like, but look at that. Like, it just that was the typical ICO. And you know what? I have to give them props because in the middle of 2021, it didn't flatline. It went up and down and up and down 2 more times. So
Let's
like,
look up fuzzballs. I don't even know what fuzzballs is. But
I mean, my favorite was Ryblocks. That was like a game changer for me.
okay.
And then they
fuzzballs is up 6% today, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Is it you?
Yeah.
exactly.
By the way, all these coins I pumped. The high was 16 cents. Its low right now is 0.00019. Market cap at one point was almost $1 million. That's insane. Now it's at the market cap. Ready for this one, Deez? The market cap at the height was 792,000.
that's nothing.
The market cap it's at now
0.
is 727.
And that's probably still less.
But
of a
also
loss.
1,000x.
That's
That's
still,
1,000x.
that's the same loss as
exactly.
Coin.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they're all 1,000x coin. Wow. Well, the
So-
point is,
The point is, don't marry your bags.
Don't marry your bags.
Anytime
But wait,
you
I have a better-
something
I have a better
that
point.
is a non-lindy
Correct.
pile of shit
Yep.
on fire.
Sell it.
You should very happily trade it for some of the
agreed.
the orange tokens or the blue tokens,
Agreed.
and just sit in the orange and blue tokens for a little bit and chill.
Agreed. I don't.
And don't just take your orange and blue tokens and buy more flaming piles of shit when you immediately sell your flaming pile of shit. Like, that is my biggest word of advice.
So okay, so let's do that now with some. I think we could do that with some NFTs. Okay, you ready?
I'm just go through my wallet. I don't even
Yeah.
chat GPT.
So I could go through my wallet also, but like, what was that dots one? The black
The
and white-
currency.
No, the black and white dots guy one. ...
Dot.
Dot.
Pop.
I love those. I still have
You
them.
talking about POC?
Let's see. ... Okay.
They're like 0.003 or something right
Yes.
now.
Okay. What do you think? What do you think the height of ... was?
Oh, without a doubt, it was like, I'm gonna say the top piece went for.
No. Like the floor.
Did you have any by any
I
chance?
remember because I was buying them.
Yeah.
Nuts, go.
I mean, I remember when the floor was like 0.5, 0.7.
Yeah. So it went up to almost to 1 ETH. So it was like
Yeah.
0.9. Okay. Right now it's 0.03.
Right.
What is that percentage wise?
That's like a 300.
That's 300, right?
Yeah.
All right, give me another one.
I'm gonna say I did buy one at 0.4, and I also bought one at 0.03.
Give me another one. Give me another one. Let's look up subdocs.
Oh no.
What do you think?
I mean,
subdocs
just like Toads. Toads was at almost 20 ETH. Now it's at under 1.
The only thing about Toads is that
I love Toads.
I still
have
the
it.
artist is still around. Like, it's the only thing that I can't like.
Like, when are you buying Toads?
When am I buying Toads?
Yeah, like if they got down to like half an ETH, would you buy one?
I mean, I have one left.
Is there any point like
Yeah.
that you would be interested
Yeah.
in buying a Toad?
Yeah.
Why?
No, I'm just curious.
I like Grumplin, so like
there's
I would
certain
be like,
artifacts of the
Yeah,
past
I would like to
where
have
it's
it.
like there was no promise. Like when Toads came out, it was like no promise.
Oh,
is
this
meme.
one's bad.
All right, but what's your floor to
What's
buy
the-
Kevin?
Don't ask me my floor on that. 'Cause
I
I,
mean,
would buy
they just
Kevin right now
trade-
for 4 Ether if people would let me, but nobody's letting me.
One just traded for like 4.5
Yeah.
before the space.
Specifically the Kevin?
Yeah.
The Kevin.
Because that's the only one I would buy, but I would buy it today.
Yeah. Like
I
literally,
wanted
I
the-
saw the Twitter bot this morning.
I same me, and I was like so upset.
You were so upset.
I was so mad.
I should have. You're a fan of like the trash NFT,
Yeah.
like the Bitcoin punks on ordinals.
Well, yeah, those aren't trash though. Those are gonna make me a lot of money.
Do you see this chart?
Which one is that?
Is
What
that
do you think it is?
Is that ordinals? And
Is that?
Can you see the?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
That's not as bad as this. Okay, ready? What do you think the height of subdocs was?
43.
What do you think it is at now?
0.02.
0.05.
Yeah.
What percentage is that?
I mean, that's a
That's
lot.
1,000.
That's every NFT project that came out between July 2021 and February 2022.
I guess that's my point.
it's basically
right?
mechas, right?
Well, mechas. Let's look at
Yeah.
mechas. Let's do that.
Hape and Mechas.
Oh, let's look up Hape. That's a good one.
I got
'Cause
so
I
much
remember how
shit.
much shit we got.
They were like trying like 8.
I
10
know
each.
someone who bought mecha at like a 12.
Hape isn't so bad,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
Almost 8 ETH, and
Wait.
it is now selling at 0.25.
Oh,
That's not bad.
well, it's not good.
No,
it's
it's still a point. I'm just saying it's 0.25. It's not like it's not
Yeah.
under.
I always had like a 32x
Yeah.
break even. Like, nah.
Okay, let's look up more. What was the other one you said?
Mecha.
Mecha's pretty bad.
Yeah, mecha's terrible.
When you're making a project like that, what part, when you get through it, do you go, this is a fucking really good idea? Like,
No, I made a lot of
But
money.
when you're on Twitter and
Yeah.
the community's
Yeah.
trading the pre-reveal,
When you're in your G-Wagon.
ridiculous
This is
that
great
you're
idea.
just like getting
Chilling.
5% on that
gonna
royalty.
do
So Mecha
so
is
well,
not as
yeah.
bad. Is not as bad as Hape. Mecha is 6 almost, and now is selling at 0.18.
No, mechas were a lot more than 6, though.
Yeah,
The
the
floor, I
OpenSea
think we're
chart.
talking-
No, the floor was more than. I mean,
Was it?
I
again,
think they were over 8.
in the pre-reveal. It was like, oh yeah, it was
Yeah, it might
8
have
to
been
10
close
for
to
sure.
10.
Oh, pre-reveal maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
it was-
doesn't
it was
count that on
insane.
the OpenSea. I see.
Yeah.
It's possible.
But it was tough. I mean, a lot of people came in with just completely delusional expectations. Like not even a year before that, we were minting Squiggles for $30. We
Yeah.
were buying Punks for $1,000.
Yeah.
Like a year after that, like everything is not worth everything.
No, but I guess it's the same. But my point is, it's the same thing as these coins.
Yeah,
You know, what's his name? Kobe said,
altcoins of pictures.
right, and he wasn't wrong. I thought it was the best explanation of what NFTs were, and he got so much hate for it. I was like, oh, he's right. You know. Now, with that said, there's altcoins that are good, very few, small percentage, and it's gonna be the same thing with the
And
NFTs.
there's altcoins with pictures that are good.
Yeah, there's altcoins of pictures that are good, like Gurt, right, Kane?
we'll see.
Was
Where
it's not a very glowing sales pitch to everybody who just bought your NFTs.
So, like, was it yogurt?
It was Kurt, like, with a K.
Yeah.
Then I was like, oh, this doesn't sound alien enough. So I was like, put a G on there. I was like, oh.
Nice.
Did you have a friend Kurt?
No, I don't know anyone called Kurt. Actually, I know one person called Kurt. He's a dick.
He's a dick.
That's how you named it.
Wait, do you still talk to him?
No, he's not a friend. I don't,
okay.
he's a
I
dick,
know
yeah.
him. You just know
I
him.
know him, yeah. I know of
Fucking
a Kurt,
Kurt.
and he's a dick, yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this, but this man right here is actually not just an artist. I was hoping he would say something. He is also a jiu-jitsu master. It's a true story.
I'm a white belt.
That's not true. That's a lie.
Yeah, I'm a white belt.
So Kane, his father trains people in jiu-jitsu. Like he's like a trained killer. This is a true story, and he's. Can I talk about how he's opening a what's it called, a dojo, a gym?
Yeah, we're trying to start.
Yeah, can you tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. My dad's been doing jiu-jitsu for like 20 years, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So like in MMA, when they're like laying on the ground, wrestling, cuddling, choking each other, that's jiu-jitsu. But yeah, he's been doing that for like 20 years, and we're trying to get like a gym set up for him and shit, and like gave him some money to get some mats down. So he's currently like renting out a CrossFit gym. Then yeah, that's a side project, I suppose.
What do you love about jiu-jitsu?
I don't know. I feel like it just makes all this stuff very minuscule, like stressing about JPEGs and money and fucking all this anxiety and of being an artist as well, of like hoping your project does well and what you can do next and stuff. It just takes all of that out, like getting beat up for a while. And just...
Did you ever get punched in the face before?
I have done, but that's not through jiu-jitsu. That's...
You got into a fight with somebody?
No, that's kickbox. That's Muay Thai.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
so
Muay Thai.
you did kickboxing and Muay Thai?
Yeah, for a bit. Yeah, I did it.
Did you get knocked out when you did it?
No, I didn't get knocked out. I got beat up. But...
Did you ever do it professionally or like try to think?
No, I was lined up to have a Muay Thai fight, but I was really scared and had a jiu-jitsu competition instead.
Oh wow! So have you ever kicked somebody else in the face?
No, I ain't kicked anyone.
That's why he called him Defaced, because he like knocked the guy's face
defaced,
off.
yeah.
No, I ain't kicked anyone.
If I asked you to kick me in the face on the podcast, would you do it? Can we like move this table and you put me in like a move now that you?
Nah, I'm not doing
that.
that.
Why not? I bet you whatever move you could put me in, I could get out of.
No, that's
You
right,
would
buddy.
choke him out.
No, yeah.
By the way,
let's not do that.
Kane has like I every time I picture him, tells me he does jiu-jitsu. I picture him of like he has all these like tattoos. What's that movie with Brad Pitt?
Fight Club?
The boxing one from England.
Oh, Snatch.
Snatch. Kane walks in. He's like, he's like super
Can't say
strong.
anymore.
He's all the tattoos. He's like, hey mate, who wants to fight?
You have to bleep that. That's like a slur nowadays.
What's a
I can't
slur?
say that.
Yeah.
What? Oh, you can't.
Yeah, you have to say like traveler.
Traveler?
Yeah.
Oh. Did they say
genuinely.
that in the movie?
Yeah,
that's in the movie.
Yeah, but
All right.
That's
We're
fucked
just saying
up.
this for reasons of understanding and learning, because we're a very diverse community. So thank you.
Cultural
Watching
anthropology.
Snatch,
Yeah,
get some
yeah.
context.
these
Anthropology.
get cancelled by the traveler community.
What's a traveler?
Um,
What? That's such a weird name. Why would they choose traveler?
Because they travel about.
Don't say that word either.
You can't say.
They travel about.
Don't say that word. A genetic human being that travels.
Nomad.
Genetic
nomad.
human being
A genetic human
versus the other kind.
being. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other human being doesn't
Yeah,
travel.
let's cut that bit.
It's a good movie, though.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Does your brother?
I don't have a brother.
Does your brother do Muay
I
Thai?
don't have a brother.
What?
I don't have a brother.
I thought you had a little brother.
I've got a little sister.
What?
I got a sister.
Sorry, your sister. I did say your brother. Does your sister do?
Benny does a lot of research for this
Yeah.
Yeah,
podcast.
fuck me. You don't even know who I am. Yeah.
I'm a very serious. I'm a very
Used to
serious
karate.
podcast host. With kids.
I used to do karate in the
Just like
80s. Yeah.
Yeah. Does your sister do?
No,
No.
nothing.
No. What does she like to do
Martial For what?
for fun?
I don't fucking know. Go drinking?
Like she likes
So
to.
she's not into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
No, she's not. No. Would you ever do it? When are you training?
Yeah,
There's
I
plenty
went.
of gyms in New York.
I once took a UFC class,
MMA class.
MMA class.
How'd that go?
I didn't do it the second time.
Can't go to the second class.
No, that was it. I signed up for 5 classes. I only showed up once. They called me like, "You coming back?" I said, "No."
You should go
You're like,
to
you keep
Dubai.
the deposit.
Yeah.
Dubai and do one of those boxer matches. Those crypto.
Oh,
boxer
no, the crypto
matches.
boxing
Yeah,
matches?
I want to see more NFT people. Obviously, I'm not going to throw myself in there. But
No.
Go on, D. We'll get you on steroids.
I would
Okay.
box. I would box you, but I would have to have.
What?
But I would
What,
have
you two? I'd
No,
watch
I would
that.
box you.
Oh, me.
But I would have.
I'd do it.
I would
Yeah.
have Ed Balloon represent me, so he would box.
Fight Ed.
It's
That's
like Game of
As-
Thrones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is when
Yeah,
I wouldn't fight
I don't
Ed.
he
think
chose
that's
the
how that
Viper instead.
we know what happened to him.
Right, that didn't. That scene was intense. That scene blew my mind.
That scene is the most incredible.
Like when he blows his head up.
Oh,
like that.
spoilers.
You haven't watched Game of Thrones?
No, I watched House of Dragon.
Wait,
Yeah, I've done like
Why
loads
are
of shit
you
like
so
that.
weird?
I didn't watch Breaking Bad.
I
I don't watch
understand-
any of the Harry
No, I
Potters, but then watch like
wa-
the Dumbledore.
Well, I don't
stuff.
know Breaking Bad. I didn't watch Breaking Bad, but I watched Better Call Saul, and I was like, that's great, and I just left it.
Why do you do things like this? I don't
I
understand.
don't know. I think it's probably because I'm a bit younger, so I miss like.
You're not that young.
Yeah, I'm 22. I'm 23
Okay,
this
so
year.
it's like
yeah,
Game
but
of- you
yeah,
can
but
still
I was
watch
like
Game of Thrones
13 when Breaking Bad came out. I was like, I don't know. Still play Pokemon, so it's like you just sort of miss stuff and you pick it up later. Then I was like, oh,
You're a
Better
big
Call Saul's
Pokemon
out.
fan, right?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I like Pokemon.
What do you think about this whole situation with not showing Pikachu and Ash together anymore? That they're retired.
Yeah,
You okay
Wait,
with
they're not
that?
a couple anymore?
No. It's
the
official.
voice actor for Ash followed me on Twitter.
Yeah, she's
Really?
an
Yeah,
NFT
yeah.
Sarah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
There's a couple of badass.
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I was
There's
like,
also
what the
like a
fuck?
really good like Nickelodeon
Tara
artist.
Strong.
Yeah, that guy's
Yeah.
awesome, and he's doing some
Her?
great- Is it him?
Tara.
No, there's a guy.
The
David.
girl who did like Timmy Turner. And a
Oh,
bunch of
really?
Powerpuff
She's also an
Girls.
NFT.
Yeah.
Oh man, I see. There's so many
And
good
then her
people in this
husband
space.
has like an NFT project called Happy Goats that I own.
Yes,
some of.
that's the
His name's
guy.
Willie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
like,
really. He's. I
really
heard him
into it.
speaking in a space. I was like, yo, this guy's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like when they get it, it's really nice to see.
It's
You
nice
know?
when you see people who've done a lot in like a quote unquote traditional
Right.
sphere
They just have to take a chance.
come into the community and understand like what you're trying to do. Like they haven't dropped, like they're not dropping things or like trying to do
Okay,
open
but-
editions on Nifty Gateway around the character voices.
Trying to use like the tech and really doing something interesting.
Yeah.
Let me play the other side of that,
Oh boy.
Yeah.
which is how many of those people are coming in because they know there's money there. And I'm not saying the voice actors are, but a voice actor is a very specific kind of actor.
I mean, Soldier Boy is. I don't know
Soldier
who that
Boy's
guy is.
definitely not the person we want.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I didn't even know who Soldier Boy was. I had
What?
to ask somebody yesterday.
Normally for me, it's
You
like
definitely-
I
you
go
definitely know that
over
song,
A
though.
year
Which
without
song?
doing a
Soldier
drop,
Boy's song?
trying
Yeah.
to track
Soulja
on
Boy
the
Tell 'em?
side.
No.
Come on. You know
How's
that.
it go? Sing it.
Crank that.
Yeah, crank that. There we
Sing
go.
it. Sing it.
You definitely know
I
that
have
song.
to. I don't. I probably do. I just
Crank
don't
that
know the name.
Soldier Boy.
Go on, Deez.
All right, hold on.
Definitely playing.
Hold on. Yeah, we're good.
Why we're talking about taking
Now watch
chances?
you.
Why we're taking chances? Talking chances. I don't know if you guys know this story, but do you know who took the biggest chance on Kane in his life?
Oh, I
if you
don't
know
fucking know
His
what this
parents?
answer is.
Apple Computers. Can you tell us a little? This story is
No, I can't. I signed an NDA. I could talk about it.
Oh, okay. Wait, did you really sign? You can't. You
Yeah, I
can't talk
signed
about
it.
it.
I did sign it.
Wait, hold on one
Wait,
second.
wait. Here's the song.
Hold on.
Oh yeah,
Okay. You know that.
So he made that one song like 15 years
that's a
ago.
long time ago. I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
Well, that's why I was doing an NFT drop.
Yeah.
So washed. It-
I mean, that's like, "Goof, get out of the way." That song.
No, that's DMX.
got it wrong. That was another 15 years before Soldier Boy.
That sounded like that song. Whatever. I think I know that song also.
That was before Defaced was even born. That song was
You're
out.
from New York, but you're like the least hip hop person I know.
I mean, I'm also the whitest person you know. So.
I don't know about that, but
No, I know it. I know songs. I just don't know names of songs.
Okay.
He knows vibrations. He
Yeah.
just doesn't know.
I love music. I listen to music all the time.
How to identify it.
You know, the strip club has great music usually.
That's why the nanny quit.
Yeah, right.
Sent it to me.
is
I-
that
My
where
wife
you,
still texts me. She's like, "What do I do?" I'm
is
like,
that where you found your nanny?
I did not find my nanny.
You're like, what do I do? Find a new nanny.
You're like, honey, this is destiny.
Think about this. She called,
was there like a Yelp for nannies? Like, how's
I wish.
how's this
Did
process?
you text out that I need a nanny yet?
Do you want me to?
Yes.
Like that was serious?
I'm being serious.
Anyone have any nanny
I
recommendations?
need.
for Redbeard,
I
New York?
need. I. The nanny is part of my life. My other nanny had to leave. She was with us for 6 years. This other one's supposed to show up on Monday. She never shows up. She says, "I'm sick." It's like, okay, first day you're sick. It's weird. You know, I've done that plenty when I was in my 20s.
You got to cut it right there.
Classic.
Yeah. And then the second day, I'm like, yo, he could. She's like, oh, I wasn't feeling well. And then the next text is like, yeah, I quit.
So she never actually came.
She never came.
Oh.
Now, and here's the thing.
Did you pay her at all?
I paid her a little money.
I'll be your nanny if you pay me now.
Yeah. What are you going to...
And then I just won't show up.
You want to show up, right? I mean, my kids are fun. Like, it's not my kids. I don't know what happened.
Did you pay her an ETH?
No, I've paid my nanny.
Any nannies and
Anyways, let's talk about something more serious. Yeah. A young man named Kane is on Instagram making art, and he is contacted by Apple. And from there, I'm going to let you tell the rest of the story, because this is actually an awesome story.
Yeah, I did sign an NDA, but I don't think they'll care.
I think
They're not going to listen.
I mean,
to
it's
this,
years
are they?
already, right?
Yeah, it's been like a couple of years. But yeah, that was That was weird. Yeah, that's super weird. I think I had like 5K followers on Instagram. I'd like make artwork every day. I got this email, and they were like, "Oh, would you like to do some illustrations from the App Store for the App Store from like Apple?" I was like, "Oh, fucking bullshit! I was like, that's a lie."
It's a lot.
Yeah, like, but
Surely they're not reaching out
the
to me.
email tag was like senior art buyer. I was like, "Oh, fuck
At
off."
apple.com.
Yeah, I was like, "This is some
Yeah,
bullshit."
fake.
Well, yeah,
Bullshit.
it seems
that's
like
spammy.
fucking bullshit. I was
What
like,
about LinkedIn?
"Yes,
Yes.
I did."
You
Yeah.
had to.
So yeah, then we started chatting, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't bullshit." And yeah, I'd done like some illustrations for the App Store over COVID, I think it was, but it was only in the US, so I couldn't see any of it. But yeah, that was
That's kind of fucked.
That's awesome.
yeah, it was cool as fuck. I
Do you
thought
still do work with them, or
no, I don't anymore. But I thought it won the lottery when they put the budget through. I was like, it's like 15 grand, and I was like, fucking hell! I was like, that's insane.
Right.
Like from getting like 100 quid for like illustrations or 200 quid, you're like, this is nothing. But when you get that, and you're like,
Going from like the esports
insane.
art.
yeah,
scene
literally, yeah, to like
to
real.
Apple is like,
Yeah, it's like holy
well, you have
shit.
a real budget. Like,
Yeah, I was like, what? You actually want to pay me money to do a drawing? I was like, fucking, really? But yeah, that was like, okay, I can do this as a job, like, and make decent money and not.
so it's just like
fucking-
a cold DM on Instagram.
Yeah, cold email.
Cold email.
Yeah, but they found me on Instagram and they like wrote the whole pitch deck and like labeled my artwork.
how many
and
followers did you go
stuff.
from 5K
5,000.
to like?
I didn't. Because they didn't.
Oh, they didn't put your
Yeah,
name
they
on
didn't
it.
credit you or anything. They like.
Oh, they don't credit you.
But people knew it was me
They found
on
you.
Twitter, yeah,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Oh, is this yours?" I was like,
You
yeah.
couldn't post that you did the work.
No, I can put on my website like clients,
Right.
Apple, or like
I
their
mean,
logo.
Thank God we have something called provenance now on the blockchain.
Yeah,
So, you know.
Well, it's interesting because I think I'm trying to think of some of the artists we've seen recently with Apple. I think Brooke DiDonato maybe did
think
did
so,
something for hers, and it's like similar to your style, where even if it doesn't say her name,
yeah.
like
You know,
I know
Right.
that style of photography and
Right.
that surreal with the palettes of hers, with like that vibe is her, and it is like kind of interesting because like your style is very unique too, and I'm sure if I had seen that,
yeah, you tweet.
I would have been like,
Actually, I always noticed that. So on the Apple TV stuff, it never says who took the photos or videos. But I do notice on Google and Amazon, it does. It says their names.
Yeah,
it feels
which I
like a
kinda
very
like.
Apple thing.
to
I-
yeah,
it's
like,
we-
keep it
yeah,
clean.
it's
It
weird,
takes
like-
away from the display.
I guess because like they want to be clean. And,
But
Yeah.
they did that whole shot on iPhone campaign,
Yeah.
which was all creator focused.
yeah.
I'm actually surprised that they don't credit creators.
Yeah.
For their work.
I mean,
Yeah, but
let's
if it
look
comes
at
down
them,
to what
so-
you're saying, like UI, UX design, like it's got to
their
be clean.
UX
Everything's
is,
got to be
like,
clean as
super
fuck.
minimal.
Yeah,
They want the only text on there to be like a short phrase that
Yeah.
reminds you of Apple.
Did you see recently that somebody put the white paper on every Mac computer?
Yeah.
crazy.
How,
I
so
didn't know
how
that.
was that just like
It had to be one of the programmers, I guess, who put it in.
They were using it as a sample document,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But still, I mean, it's
That's
like
so
some,
great.
somebody,
It's amazing.
somewhere
Yeah,
made
somebody-
the
yeah,
decision
somebody
yeah,
did
yeah.
that.
Oh, for
to
sure.
be like,
Yeah, it's fantastic.
this is
Dude,
part of our
I'm telling you, there's crazy stories like that. Just people who were like at work and they were mining, and then
the
I think
people are
it's-
like Steve Jobs is too. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I don't think
May
so,
he rest
yeah.
in peace.
I don't think so.
Talking about Steve Jobs, last game of the day.
We have another game about Steve Jobs, and we're not comparing him to SBF.
If
in
you're
this game?
if you're prepared for a Steve
not-
Jobs game right now,
Again, I'm not saying Steve Jobs and SBF the same thing. Okay. All right. I'm gonna
I'm never
read.
letting that live down.
This game.
that's a weird one.
This game is called AI. I don't know what you should call this. Basically, I have two quotes. One quote was created by a person, and the other quote was created by AI.
You're gonna
Okay.
tell us the person.
Yes.
That's important.
Okay. This is two quotes. What should we name this game, Wish? Because I like this game. Okay,
Really?
we'll figure something
That's the
out.
name of the game.
Here's the name of the game. Just
I'll
put it
figure
right
The
something
name of the
out.
game.
Okay. Okay. Artificial intelligence is the greatest invention since the printing press. It has the potential to revolutionize every industry, from healthcare to entertainment. We're only scratching the surface of what is possible. Steve Jobs.
AI.
That's Steve Jobs.
that's absolutely
Next.
AI.
Next quote. Wait, can you let me finish first?
I thought. Wait, are you giving two
I'm
quotes?
giving you two quotes.
Okay.
One is AI, one is real.
All right, okay, so that was the AI one. Now give us Steve Jobs quote.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. AI is not about replacing humans, but enhancing them. It's about empowering people to work smarter, not harder, and to unlock their full potential by leveraging the power of technology. Satya Nadella.
Great, I'm confused right now.
So I thought you were going to read us a Steve Jobs quote.
No, two people. Which one is real and which one isn't?
I think the
I don't get what the
Steve
fucking game
Jobs
is.
one is real because I feel like I read his biography and somehow remember that.
Wait, so that first quote you're saying was Steve Jobs, or the second quote you're saying was Satya?
I'm reading you two quotes.
So from two different people.
Two different
But
people.
one of them's fake.
One of them is fake.
Why don't we just do one at a time?
Kane, this
is
is my
Benny's
fucking
game.
game, okay?
That'd make more sense.
I didn't. If you want to make a game next time, you come on.
Game show with Gurt.
Yes, then we'll do game shows with Gurt all day when we have our
Why
show.
don't we just do one at a time? Then we know what's fucking going on. We've got,
No,
we've
because
got to
that's
remember
not
both.
the game. Both are about AI. So one.
Yeah, but
AI
we just do one. Is it true or false? Two, is it true or false?
No,
I can't
this is
remember the
my
first
game.
one now. I'm not. I already
Can we
forgot.
mute his microphone?
What's the
It's
first
like a
quote?
Twitter space. You want to hit the red button that says mute all.
mute all.
Shut up.
I'll give you two quotes about AI. One is
All right, I
one
put
is
my
real.
money on. I put a chip on Steve Jobs.
Satya was real.
I don't fucking know.
No, you have to guess. See, you don't like this game because you can't just be AI.
I can't win.
Exactly. What are you saying?
So one of them's real.
One of them is real.
Okay. Do you have dates?
No. Jesus Christ. Oh my god.
I think the second one's real.
The second one, Satya.
Yep.
Okay. The Steve Jobs one is fake.
It is.
Of course.
Oh, didn't
Okay.
read the biography.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
he said shit about AI that was similar.
Again, which makes sense, right? I'm just Okay.
We're here to beat.
All right.
Son.
Are we good?
Yeah. No, you're
Okay.
good. You're good.
You guys ready for the next one?
Nope.
The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Eleanor Roosevelt.
Okay.
Technology will continue to evolve and shape our future, but it's up to us to ensure that we use it to enhance human connection and creativity, to not replace it. Oprah Winfrey.
Come on.
I guess Oprah?
I'm going to go Eleanor Roosevelt's real.
Yeah.
And what are you saying?
Oprah, I don't know.
Oprah's real? Deez is not playing this game well.
No.
Oprah is fake. The Eleanor Roosevelt one is real.
2 for 2, baby.
Okay.
What do we win?
That's why I just write with AI.
Okay, these are two quotes about space. We choose to go to the moon and to do other things, not because they
That
are
one's
easy,
real.
but because they are hard.
That's real.
John F. Kennedy.
That's real.
Stop ruining my
Sorry.
I
game.
think that one's real, that one.
Yeah, you made it too obvious.
JFK wasn't around for.
But this one's hard.
I feel
I'll
like
tell you the
AI
next one. Ready?
AI.
Space. By the way, this was a really good quote that I thought was. I could tell you that I thought was real. Space is not just the final frontier. It is the beginning of a new era in human exploration and discovery that will challenge us to reach new heights and achieve the impossible. Albert Einstein.
No, because it don't feel real, does it?
Reach the impossible doesn't sound like something I would.
This is the problem, though, because AI writes shit in a specific way.
Right.
And you're seeing that across all these quotes.
Correct.
That it becomes easy to detect.
Easy to start telling at one point. Okay, I got a good one. Okay. All right. Child hunger and child obesity are really just two sides of the same coin. Both rob our children of the energy, the strength, and the stamina they need to succeed in school and in life. And that, in turn, robs our country of so much of their promise. Michelle Obama. Second quote. America's greatness cannot be measured by the abundance of its wealth, but rather by the well-fed bellies of its people. Barack Obama. Both about hunger in America.
The first one sounded more like AI, but I don't feel like Barack would talk about food in the belly, which is weird.
Yeah, maybe the first one. First one's real.
Child hunger and child obesity is just a mouthful.
That's a long quote, isn't it? That's a really long quote. The first one. It's the first one, I think. It's got to be real.
Or is this when Benny goes, they're both real?
They're both AI.
I think he says they're both AI.
Is that?
He's like, the Obamas are AI.
You have to tell me what you think. I can't tell you the answers.
Oh.
That's not part of the game.
I'm going Michelle's real.
Michelle's real.
I'm just gonna take the opposite side so I can be
Yeah.
wrong again. So I'll go with Barack.
Yeah.
I'll
Barack is
get
real.
it wrong.
I say both AI. We'll do
You
it.
can't say both are AI. You can't say that.
Why?
You just did.
Because I'm telling you, one of them is not AI, okay?
Okay, first one.
Which the Michelle Obama is AI?
I don't know.
Is that what you're saying?
It's real. First one's real.
The first one's real?
I don't fucking know.
I want an answer.
He's gonna.
Okay. Michelle Obama quote is real.
Yeah, because I picked Barack.
Obama is fake.
Because he wouldn't say well.
Okay.
That's little bellies.
Now I have one from the same.
Never say
Okay, I have a good.
That's quite funny.
Okay.
Did AI write it? Bellies.
I have two more. Okay, ready?
Bellies.
This one is about generative art. Art pushes against psychological and social expectations that tries to transform decay into something generative, that is replicative in a Baroque way, that isn't about progress and wants to, as Walt Whitman put it, contain multitudes. Jerry
That's a whole lot of
Saltz.
fucking.
Ready? Next
Getting a
one.
bit old now.
Next one.
He's quite
Generative
old.
art is a mirror that reflects the essence of the human spirit. It shows us that even in the realm of machines, we can still find the beauty and complexity of the natural world. Joshua Davis.
Go with the second one because the first one.
Yeah, second one because I didn't know what.
Yeah, second one's real.
Fucking Walt Whitman.
Yeah, you got it.
He's not real.
It was interesting what I realized when I started doing these, I could say to ChatGPT, make a fake quote and buy this person.
Yeah, of course.
And they'll just put the person's name down. All right, last one.
Make a fake quote bias.
Yeah, and then they just make a fake quote up. Now, I'm assuming they probably take
I don't know.
some things from what, because
Did you train that chat?
the
GPT?
Steve Jobs one probably had some stuff that he had said about AI, and they
Yeah,
maybe put it
clearly.
All right.
Because I would have missed it that hard. I'm not
This
that
one is
stupid.
by the same person. Okay.
Jerry Saltz?
No. Ted Williams. Do you know who Ted Williams is?
a baseball player.
Yes.
Okay.
He was a baseball. You know what baseball is, right? There's a bat, there's a ball.
On the ball. Yeah.
It's like cricket.
You hate sports, right?
I'm not a big sports guy.
You like MMA though.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Yeah, I like it.
You sure you don't want to wrestle on the floor?
You have to pay. That's a fee.
Yeah.
There's a whole studio
And then
for
we'll get a
wrestling.
video of it. Perfect. Okay. It's gonna be great.
How many seconds would it take Kane to make
Pin
you
you.
tap?
Yeah, just don't hurt me. Just like
He breaks his arm. He's got
just sling the rest of the week at NFT NYC. All right, Ted Williams is a famous baseball
Okay.
player.
Yeah.
He also is frozen. They froze his body with Walt Disney. True story, I think.
Oh,
At
okay.
least I read that online one time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in the underground with Einstein.
No, I don't think they
And,
froze
Disneyland.
Einstein.
Einstein, they did take selections of his brain
Did they really?
Yeah, it's
to study it. Yeah.
Wonder what. That's just amazing. He was so smart. Did you ever read? There's
Trying
a.
to replicate.
That's
By
why
the way,
they
I'm
did
going to
it.
give you a book that you all should read. You would absolutely love it. Okay, it's called Einstein's Dreams.
I read it. Yeah. Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Kane, you have to read this book. You would love it also.
What?
It's basically
It's like a fictional dream.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
basically like explaining his theory of relativity through his dreams. But like, it's not like someone made it up. But it's fascinating because you really like read the whole book. You're like, oh, and you start to get it. But it's just so
It's also really short.
short,
which is fantastic.
Very
Oh,
good
great.
book.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. You would like it.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Okay, Ted Williams. That's read the generative art one in a second. Baseball is the only field of endeavor where a man can succeed 3 times out of 10 and be considered a good performer. Ted Williams. Baseball is the only place where you can strike out 3 times and still be a hero with 1 swing at a bat. Ted Williams.
I'm gonna get the first one's real.
The second one's more concise, isn't it? I didn't know the guy. I don't know how he spoke, but I imagine the second one feels more punchy to me.
I'm going to go the first one.
Kane is finally wrong. Yes.
Oh, okay. Fucking
The second one is
kill
fake.
myself, yeah.
But this was interesting because
I'm
that-
finally right. That means
Yeah, you were
Even
right.
more
This is right,
surprisingly.
right. But it was really interesting because I asked it to create a fake quote from Ted Williams. It gave me the fake quote, and then I looked up a real quote from Ted Williams. And was like, oh wait, they're just almost alike.
That's cool.
Yeah. So the bottom line is what I'm trying to make a case about is that Kane, as an artist, AI is taking over. You should think about doing something else. Maybe go professional Muay Thai.
I don't know. I might write fake quotes for a living.
You might write fake quotes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was our games. I want
So
to.
the point is that
Let's talk about
ChatGPT is a tool that we can use to maybe trick ourselves, especially me, and maybe not smarter people.
Well, I use it for my emails now all the time.
I use it instead of Google.
I use it a lot for Google. I use it for
ask for sources, and then you can read the sources, and it's like a more pointed Google search that strips out some of the SEO.
Can I ask you guys a question though?
Yeah.
Which is, so I was talking to an MBA class at Columbia yesterday, and the professor asked, there was 3 people who had been
such a flex
in tech.
I was talking to an MBA class yesterday.
I mean,
Just look at this guy.
It's just university.
They don't know how amazing he is. I'm just saying.
No, they don't. But the professor said, because these guys are all going to start companies or work at big brands, you know, they asked us, if you were starting something now, what technology would you utilize to start? And I was like, I think the fervor of AI is only on the decline right now. I think we all realized this thing was kind of cool and amazing, and I love Midjourney, and I will continue to use it as a tool. Same with ChatGPT, but I feel like in the same way that autocomplete was amazing when it came out, we're gonna get used to this, and it's not going to be as intriguing to us as it becomes more part of how we do our productivity work.
I think it's interesting. If you're comparing it to sort of like a calculator.
I'm not comparing it to a calculator. I'm saying whether it was Photoshop and being able to manipulate images,
right,
or it's autocomplete on a Word doc or an email,
spell check.
It all is amazing.
Yeah.
And when you first get it, you're like, sick, right? I just saved typing all these words.
Yeah.
But you don't think about it as in the innovation way that we are all so enamored with AI.
I disagree, and I think that every time things come out, they're like, okay, this is it, right? You know, the only thing that this time that's a little sort of jarring and shocking to me is the amount of jobs
that are fucked.
Yeah. Right? In the past, when we had new technologies, people would say oh, we're going to lose jobs, but it was small specific spots of things that we lost. This is lower level analysts. I don't even know why they would have jobs. Accountants and people who work at McDonald's and truck drivers.
I mean, I'm honestly really happy for the people who work at McDonald's and Taco Bell to get replaced by a robot.
Okay, so let's play this game.
Okay.
What's the most widely done job in America?
Truck drivers.
I was gonna say truck driver. No. The most widely done job.
The most people do this job.
Kind of service industry.
Yeah, I'd say service industry.
Teachers.
No. Okay, so number one is it's all drivers, not just truck drivers.
Yes.
Uber, delivery, that kind of stuff. Number 2 is food service and service industry. Yes. Both of those are completely disruptible by robotics and AI. That's where I would be a lot more scared of the job situation. Yeah, I mean, it may take us 10 years, but people are worried about whether analyst jobs are going to get taken or teacher jobs are going to get taken. Of course, a little bit, but the fact is, giant. 5 million people lose their job in 5 years because of autonomous driving. That's a tremendous shift in the economics of the country.
I think it's more than that. So I agree. I agree 100%. And I was just talking to somebody about the truck driver, the guy who's in the truck driver industry. He maps and controls where trucks are going. That's his company. And he said basically that he thinks in 5 years, it's he sent me an article and some things where they have trucks driving across country now. With no drivers, back and forth to test it out. And
someone still sleeps in the cab though,
right?
Today,
yeah. But that's now, right?
Yeah.
And that's also because our governments don't allow us to essentially have laws that let self-driving cars, right? Most states don't let cars just drive themselves. If we just press the button, it might all happen. I think teachers, because there's also I'm mostly very interested about teachers, if that's something that's going to happen, because you could utilize these tools, but I wonder if you could ever take the person out of the classroom and just have the kids learn, because I will tell you that during COVID, I saw that that's not possible, right? You need somebody, you need another human being to interact with to learn before you could just one-on-one with a computer.
Yeah. But I think teachers are so important because of the humanity of teachers,
Correct.
right? But I think it was Sam Altman's conversation with Kara Swisher, maybe, where he was saying everyone should have a pocket doctor and a pocket tutor.
Right.
Right? Because I do think those are both things for that initial need that you don't need the human
Well, that
for.
was what that was what Khan Economy was started to be, and now with the AI that they're putting into it, if you haven't checked it out, you should. It's really now getting to that spot, right? And then that's going to save time. What really will happen is the teacher will save time that they don't have to get to every kid in the class, right? Like, because you'll be able to utilize and ask, instead of having to ask the teacher a question, you could ask your pocket tutor. Mm-hmm. But I agree with drivers, and even more with drivers. How about car companies? Like, to be honest with you, in 5 years, if somebody said to me, hey, you pay $5,000 a year for a service that picks you up and drops you off wherever you want to go all year long, I wouldn't own a car.
In a heartbeat. Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. Like, I would never buy a car. Now, I know some of my friends are like, oh, I'm driving. I love driving. Like, I don't really give a shit about driving. So, like, if I could pay an Uber service, basically, or a car, and, I believe, like, that's a whole industry in itself. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I think that's why all of a sudden all these, like, Fords and everybody's like, now they're getting into driverless cars, because they're worried. Because if you think about it, you don't need to buy a car.
But here's what I want. And I think the four of us should start this company.
Okay.
So you heard it here first, wherever the camera is. But I want all of my life services and needs to be that. I want a subscription model that says I pay $10,000 a month and I get my apartment, my car, and my food. And if I want to pay $15,000 to get the better service of all three of those, I can.
So I think that's what they'll do when, in my world in the future, I think once AI starts to take over, you're going to lose a lot of jobs. Driving, food services. I was just talking to this guy, he said, who works in AI, and he said, he told me, like, all the jobs in the airports are gone, right? Like, because they'll have sensors and this, like, you'll need like one person, right?
I mean, they better do as good of a job as TSA does.
Yeah,
because,
right.
Like, I am going to be scared traveling the way I do
right.
if it's sensors and not TSA.
Like, they'll do a better, right, exactly. And he said they'll do a better job than TSA. They'll be cheaper. Like, and
maybe I want TSA there still. Like, I think they're doing a great job with my experiences. Yeah. I don't want to get rid of. I'm very comfy with TSA.
Well, they let you through with anything you want.
They're very kind.
But I think once all these jobs are out, you're gonna have a lot of people who can't get jobs. So I think that they're gonna create some kind of, like.
But servicing the robots, that's going to be all of our job.
Well, you're going to service the we'll service the robots.
We'll pay a $10,000 subscription model to the robots so they don't come to our house and light it on fire.
I think what they'll do is, I think it won't be $10,000.
The robot mafia, right?
Yeah, right.
Basically what it is.
Right, just a vague. Right?
I think what they'll do is they'll probably create something like a UBI, like a universal base income, and they'll say, okay, you have $10,000. But
it'll be paid in EOS.
You better pay.
That is the use case.
Yeah.
And they'll say, if you want to upgrade, then you could take a job on. If you want to just sit around and do nothing, you could do that also. Because I just don't know, unless they're going to have to find a solution for these people not having jobs.
Yeah.
Right?
The average person just feels fucked. Like, if you don't have a level of ambition and autodidactness and willing to get out into the weeds and forge your own path and do your own shit, like, you're fucked in this world.
Yeah. Like, you're totally fucked.
Like, you're not going to work at a company like your dad or your grandpa did for 30 years and get a good pension. Social Security's fucked.
Kane,
like,
did you just break that?
Yeah. I was trying to tone it out. I was just fucking pulling it apart.
But it's just one of those things where, like, I feel bad for the average person in that sense, where, like, I look at my hometown and it's just, like, people stuck in jobs they hate, like, half of them addicted to painkillers, and it's just, like, a bleak area.
Oh, Ohio's going to be, like, the epicenter of this.
Yeah, and think about how cheap it will be to live there as someone who works online. It's like...
Wait, am I not supposed to say you live there? Sorry.
Well, it's a big
We can
state.
bleep it. Okay.
It's a big state.
No, but it should. I guess my question is going to be is that, so back to what you said. In the past, people would say this, but the truth is what happened is that technology created new jobs, right? And I don't know how many new jobs AI creates. That's my concern. I feel like it replaces jobs more than it actually creates new jobs. And I think that that's sort of the fear of like as an educator, I'm like, what am I teaching the kids? Like right now I'm starting to
how to think for themselves and how to solve broad problems. That
more problem
a ton
solving
of disciplines.
Yeah.
And
like I'm doing
teach the kids mental models,
life
Just fucking
skills.
throw
Yeah,
them
mental
Charlie-
models.
Charlie Munger
but I'm
ratings
teaching
and
them
be
a
like,
lot.
Here's 80 to 90 mental models.
Right.
You can forget 99% of everything you know. Take these models and try to apply this lattice work of different
Yeah.
models at your life, and this will get you
And just will get you
further than
somewhere.
95% of
And
people.
you know, teaching them now excuse me, the younger kids about prompts, coding,
Teach them about power laws.
robotics. What?
Teach them about power laws.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
how so much value accrues to the top.
Yes. And like how
important
to
it is to
How to be a sheep.
well, and teaching them empathy.
yeah, that's important too.
But it's going to be
Between the
interesting
power
because
laws.
if you can't teach them for jobs that are going to exist, or I don't even know if the jobs are going to exist. Like I said to this accountant,
Teach them the power of compound interest. No one taught me that until I was like 24.
I'll have to take a note on that one.
That like do some shit where you can give the kids something, or like a week later they get something plus a little more, and then show them how if they keep deferring that something plus a little more,
It
how
goes
that
up in
plus a
value.
little more eventually like doubles the
Yeah.
original something and then triples it. Like that power of compounding, no one described to me until like 5 years ago. And
It changed your life?
my life. Like it changed how I view
Do
my
you think if
relate-
someone taught you that when you were younger, everything would have been different?
I think I would have been a little prone to like think about my decisions differently. Like I probably wouldn't have just spent all of my tuition money on like rent and weed
Right.
and gambling. And I got lucky, but like I probably could have made some smarter decisions for sure.
Rent, weed, gambling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you need like rent and weed or like your safety net,
Right.
and then gambling is like your upside. So like if you cover rent and weed, you can
And the
exist.
hierarchy of needs, those are
Yeah.
on the bottom.
And then gambling. It's like how do you get out
Should I
of
teach that in school?
gambling? They kind of do. Like, I mean, that's where I learned it more or less.
You learned it in school.
I mean, from my friends that
Right,
I
not
met
from your,
at
not from
school.
your teachers. I don't like going, yeah.
No, but like on the playground, you're out shooting dice, and then like you got Pokemon cards as your wagers.
I used to do pogs.
Yeah, the little
The like
Circle
flipping
things?
things. I never.
We just played poker.
yeah. You had to wager something.
Yeah.
It normally wasn't money; it was something else
Right.
you had. Like
My older
Pokemon
my,
card. You
my
get
best friend's older brother taught us how to play dice.
Is that bad?
I mean, I didn't really know what was going on. I just needed to get like triple sixes. I had no clue what was going on, and we just
You
played.
just-
He ended up winning every time, so I have a feeling he always just told us.
He
the
told you the
rules.
wrong rules.
Yeah, and he
we would
just-
have people like in our high school locker room after gym shooting dice. Like that was. It's what you do in Ohio. Like, how are you going to make it out of Ohio? You're going to learn how to gamble while you're in school.
Well, we definitely learned how to gamble in the.
And then you're going to like hope that you're one of the 5 or 10% who are lucky gamblers who get out of it, and not 95% who become
But you know what?
drunks or
Like, that's actually the point, which is like hustling is such a skill,
yes,
right?
So true.
I mean, you had to hustle, which got you the Apple gig, right? Like,
Sure.
and that's what AI can't do.
no,
Like on that hustle, on that game, it doesn't exist, and that's such a human life skill.
100%.
I need to check back in on that. There was literally like Hustle GPT. It was this guy who every day
Just raised
was
$200 million.
asking the AI what to do.
Oh, yeah, that's
with
right.
the business plan, and
Yeah.
he was following it up like every day in the thread. And I after like day 6, I forgot about it because like
Yeah.
a daily update is way
He gave
too
it like
much.
$100 or something
Yeah.
like that, right?
Like it was something, and they had like a website drop shipping
Yeah.
stuff based off like healthy organic bullshit. I mean, it honestly was like if I took a class from a 19 to 22-year-old kid who was selling ads on Amazon and YouTube at me, like what I would expect it to get. Like, oh, we create a bullshit shop that sells something at a significant markup that uses SEO and copy to get the attention of 20 to 50-year-old ladies who are typing in certain words into Google. And like, yeah, that's probably a pretty decent money.
I pitched a TV show, which didn't get picked up, but we pitched it to a bunch of people called Rainmaker. And
When
the
was
ent-
this?
10 years ago.
Okay.
And the entire show was we give everyone $10,000 and they have a month. And whoever has the most money at the end keeps it all. right? But the idea was you get entrepreneurs, you get drug dealers, you get gamblers, you get stock.
That's crazy. So there was a show similar to this, but not with multi-contestants, but they took like a billionaire and then they started them over at like zero or like with a very small amount of money in like a super shitty apartment and had them work back up.
And were they able to do it?
The one guy that we watched, he like took over a brewery, but started out by like flipping cars. Like he was just like trying to buy cars for like $1,500 to $2,000 and flip it for $4,000.
They gave him some money to start with.
He did like manual labor, I think, to make the money to get the car. Like it was like, I don't know if he was doing like dishwashing or like some shitty job. It was like he was sleeping on a fucking mattress in like a shitty apartment. Like it wasn't.
I love it.
It was fun to watch, but I only saw that like one season with that one guy. But like it's a similar concept where you're like,
I love the competition of hustlers, like, you know, but as long as like you set the constraints and the rule set, and especially these days with like everyone would just do NFTs, right? Like whoever like the biggest, you know, Frank from D-Gods would win or whatever it is.
He would destroy.
Yeah.
They couldn't use their network that they have built.
Right, they had to start from scratch.
Like
yes.
Like the reason this other show is good too is like I think the guy couldn't like tell people like who he was.
He couldn't get
or,
$1 million
like,
from
what he
dad
was
to
trying
start
to
his
do.
company.
It could be an interesting like sort of thought experiment to do in the NFT space. Like the only problem is you can't if you have a name already. You would have to start like with an anonymous account.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you would have to create, like, you would have to
I'll
say
just
Frank.
dox and just go as my normal name.
Right,
my
right.
voice is an issue.
No one would know it's you. And
My voice is bad. Like, it gives me away. Because I've had people come up to me and be like, oh, I heard you talking. And, like, I need these. Like, oh, shit,
But it would be
hey.
interesting to sort of do that. I mean, I guess scammers have done it, but think about
I mean, Zagabond.
Yeah.
Zagabond
There you go.
from Azuki is probably a good example.
Yeah. He's done.
I mean, he's not a scammer. I don't want to say that. But
Yeah.
He did a couple things that failed.
Wasn't he a woman at some point or something?
No, there was a woman on his team.
Right.
But they were a fake woman on Twitter.
That's what it was. Yeah.
I mean, it was a little blurry line.
Kane, have you ever
Little
had a fake
grayish.
identity on?
But, like, the fake identity of
Yeah.
doing stuff.
All the time. No, I started a Gurt account for a while, like a fake
you have a Gurt
character account. Yeah.
Do you ever use it or?
Yeah, I did occasionally, but I was
That's
just
fine.
like fucking boring because I was looking into
You get no dopamine on that.
Arcade Fire. Arcade Fire took one of their like advertising budget and they put it all into like a new Twitter account, and it's under the guise of this fake company, and it done fine, but it got like 5k followers or less than that, and it was like, oh, we should have just used our main account and just saved the money and just put it. So it's like, for what gain? I don't know. Depends
It's
what you're
hard to
trying
get
do.
people to follow a new account.
Yeah, and like what's the purpose behind it? Like, what are you trying to do?
The podcast is like 5,000.
But I'm sure we'd all try and make money in different ways as well. Like I would obviously try and make artwork, but then if you got a style and stuff, like we'd all have different ways of making money in NFTs if we start from scratch.
Right.
I feel like I don't know. What would you do? You'd probably buy and sell more than I would, because I probably wouldn't do that.
So
You're saying as a collector?
Yeah, I'd probably be another artist because it's like the thing I'm
He still has the
good
talent.
at. Yeah.
Whereas we don't. Have
if I had to remake myself, I would probably like if the goal was just to make money from an anonymous account with little to no moral or ethical things, but not scamming, I would probably drop like an AI collection
Yeah.
and then go that route.
And just go that route.
and just like Discord hustle and like just,
If anything was allowed, I would just be in the Ape Discord every day,
Right.
DMing anyone with open DMs. Hey, you want to make a trade?
Well, there's a lot of artists.
That would be like if there
There's a
was
lot of-
no rules.
And there's a lot of artists.
Taxman comes knocking.
There's a lot of artists in our space who've been successful because of their hustle, and I have zero problem with that.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, and you know they.
What takes it? Like we're at a stage where it's not just about the arts. Like it's about the
But I think-
artist, the story.
But I think that's okay. Like I don't think there's anything wrong.
I
with
think
it.
it's always
been
been
like
that
that,
way, right?
Yeah.
It always has, yeah.
And then, you know, some people are like, oh, you know, well, all they did was subtweet. I was like, okay, so then subtweet. Like, do it yourself. Like, you know, I get it's like, you want to believe your art's better. I think we spoke about this before, but sometimes it's like, you know.
If you look like a fucking cactus, it doesn't matter if you make Mona Lisas. Like, people aren't going to touch you.
Yes.
And there's people out there who might be very technically proficient, but they lack some part of the emotional connection game, and it comes off very apparent in how they communicate, both on Twitter, verbally. Like some of it is quite grating, the way that they communicate, because you look at them as a collector and you're like, I can't, no matter how good you are as an artist, like that thing you just said is so polarizing or bombastic that you just lost like a sizable part of your audience.
I all the time just look at everybody, and usually I'm like, okay, if I don't know them personally, I'll just pretend like I don't like them. Sam does this. And the second I meet them, I become friends with them. So
Did he do this with you?
No, but he's done it with other people we know.
yeah. And in my head, it's all in my head. I don't think they even know that. They probably even know who I am. 'Cause I don't really,
Benny feels attacked by their existence.
yes.
Benny's
Like they make
"You
tweets.
exist and we're not friends."
They
Right,
make
exactly.
tweets that I'm just like, I cannot believe they made that tweet, and it's about me, and has nothing to do with me. But I get that feeling also that you're saying, because like sometimes I think Twitter accounts are just sort of like,
Do you feel like nowadays artists can't be as big a dicks as they were?
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%, and I don't think that's fair.
Yeah. I'm not for or against it.
No,
but I just
no.
find it interesting.
I think two things actually. Two sides of that.
Yeah.
I think that artists should be allowed to speak their minds a little bit more, right? And I'm not talking about political stuff.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like art stuff. Like artists are allowed to be like. I just heard you said this thing. There's two things about artists that I really this guy said, but like I think are true. One is that artists can have an opinion, and artists are allowed to make mistakes. And I think those two things are so important. You can make art that doesn't sell, and that doesn't make you a bad artist. You can make art and have an opinion art, and that doesn't mean that the other art doesn't need to get bought, but this is your opinion as an artist. Some of the most famous artists in the world had opinions on other artists that were pretty negative, right? Like we have in our community, it's like rah rah rah, everybody sell out. And we have, there's no room for anybody to say like, hey, I like it, but I'm not going to buy it, right? And I as a collector,
We keep saying that to people though.
I've been saying it more. I've been much better about it.
I've been honest with people.
I've been very honest lately. Like, hey, I really like your stuff. I'm just not something I would purchase. And I feel bad. And sometimes I used to feel bad saying it. I still do a little bit. But like, but at the beginning when I used to really feel bad is because in the space, it's like they don't allow it to be like that. It's like you have to buy it, right?
I tweeted something the other day. It was like buying art you don't like from people you love does more harm than good over the long run.
100%.
And I think it does. It sets these like
it sets
unfair
precedent,
expectations. It sets this like expectation that number one, like I actually liked the piece that I bought. So then that artist may be more inclined to sadly maybe change their style or do more pieces like that because they thought I liked it. And then there's that expectation of like, well, you bought that one and I did more like that and you don't like them now. Like it feels bad to say. It's like I should have just never bought the first one. I should never
bought the first one.
And then we would have never been here.
Correct. And
we could still be friends and pocket stuff and it wouldn't be weird. But now it's like...
But I'll also say, like, I've been collecting art for 20 plus years, right? And someone told me very early on when I was starting my business career that to invest in art for two reasons. One, because there's an opportunity for appreciation, and then two, there's an opportunity for appreciation, right?
I love that.
And so, but I remember, for example, talking with a guy who was helping me identify stuff to buy, and so I bought 3 Warhols in my life, right? Not original paintings, just throw that out there. But the one that's the most valuable is the one I hate. But it's because he was like, buy this, throw it in a storage unit, right? And then 20 years, 30 years later, it'll pay for a house.
Wow.
You know, whereas the ones I loved and put on my walls were the ones that, you know, I mean, one of them I sold for like 3x, but it was the one I loved the most, and I like wish now I hadn't sold it. But I do think there is something about art as a value asset, but also art is something that you love and you want to appreciate from a kind of creative perspective. And I think it's okay to have both, as long as you know why and your thesis is strong.
Yes, I would say for me 9 times.
That was a clip, by the way, just FYI. We're going to make that a clip.
The 9 times out of 10 for me, the pieces I bought that I didn't love were like, they were definitely not for the appreciation of value either.
Right.
That was my problem.
I bought...
There's been generative art I bought that I didn't love because I knew it appreciated.
Right.
Like,
and I bought stuff like that also. Like you're right. The generative art, I feel like I bought a lot for.
I minted 5 ringers and I sold 4 of them within 2 weeks because I was like, well, these are worth a couple of ETH. And then I bought one that I really liked, and I still have it.
But but sometimes you get lucky. Like I bought that Rip Cache.
Yeah, that was crazy.
The Rip Cache.
How did you find that?
So I was looking at it.
Did you bought his Genesis piece, or
so he had pieces that came out, and then he made this piece and he put a thread out that it was his first on-chain art. And to me, I was like, oh, on-chain art, like that's interesting because I'm really kind of into this whole on-chain thing.
Yeah.
And
Mr. Ordinals.
No, but like Ordinals, I want to flip. I've been very honest about that. No, that's not true. I'm going to keep them forever.
Very honest about the word.
Yeah. So Rip, like, I got to talk to him. I got to be friends with him. I bought it. I was looking at it, and then, Guy NorCal.
Yeah.
I made a tweet about it, or I said something. A guy's like, I said, he said something also, and I was like, are you gonna buy it? He's like, yeah, I was thinking about buying it. So I was like, look, let's just split it 50-50. It's like 3 Ether. Yeah. Right. But to me, it was just the idea that
how the fuck was I not in on this? We literally
this was before. Literally, I know. Yeah, sorry.
It's just like wait, I collect with you and Guy NorCal.
I promise.
How did I not?
It was actually the first piece I bought with him. And then
before Megazord.
Megazord.
Yeah.
And then, but like it was interesting because that's a type.
But you were following Cash already.
I was following him. I just thought he was interesting. But when he put the on-chain thing, but I guess this is a perfect example. I bought it because I appreciated it. And then it turns out to be appreciation.
Yeah, it's
right?
like probably worth like 10x now.
Yeah, and it's a big deal. It's like, because it's, I guess that's the like the sweet spot, right? Mm-hmm. But I do agree with Kane. Like I'm there is a time right now. I do feel like I'm afraid to say things about sometimes like a genre of art or things that like I love. Like I
say it.
I suppose
try to get it out.
I know, like
art
I hate
versus the
Kane's
artist,
art.
though, isn't it?
What?
Like the art versus the artist argument is still like very prevalent.
But also, like, Picasso was a dick,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Charlie Chaplin was like
Charlie Chaplin was
amazing
real
artists
good, by
were
the way.
horrible
Yeah,
people,
but you feel like
and they don't have to be good people.
if they had Twitter when Picasso was around,
Dude, he'd be
would
like,
anyone buy his work?
Right.
Obviously, in traditional
That's
art
a
world,
great question.
You get away with more shit because you have a third party, so no one ever gets to speak to the artist.
Listen, there's people who don't like Fiwo's type of art, right? But like, to me, I happen to like his art also, but he's like a great example of like I'm investing in the person. Like I'm investing, like not solely because I love his art, but to me, what he is as a brand
force,
and a creative force, I'm just like I need to be a part of that. I'm never going to be able to invest in his company. So the next best thing for me is to invest in his art, and I think there's something to say about that. 100%.
Might be able to invest in this company at some point.
Maybe. Well, hopefully.
I also don't love the fact that artists need to be companies, but that's a different.
See, I really, because like I tell every artist, spoke to Kane about this. I think all artists should be creating LLCs.
Well, for tax purposes, yes.
And also because I think that they could do a raise. I actually think that we're in a different time spot right now. And before you could invest in an artist by buying their art, I'm giving away my whole thesis of my fund. But I also think that there is sort of a sweet spot now that you could go to an artist and say, look, back in the day it would be like, we're going to buy 20 paintings from you for X amount of money. And then your next 20, you have to give us 50%, right?
But even that, I think is...
Yeah, so I don't think that works.
No, I know, but I'm saying I don't know if I want Kane... Sorry, talk about third person. I don't know if I want Kane to have an expectation of a return, which is the minute you start to say, I want to invest in you and do a raise, people are doing raises because they want to make money, right?
100%.
And so the idea that people are being, there are people who, musicians from album 1 to album 2 change their style and they fall in favor because suddenly they're not doing the same thing anymore, right? Whereas if you just said, hey, I want to create in the same style, in the same way, then because I know it's marketable. And again, there are musicians and there are artists who do that. But I'm just like, I don't know. I think it's so constraining for the idea of art being tied to commerce in that way as the creator.
I don't disagree with that. So I agree with you there. The only thing I would say is, though, that if artists and creators, I should say, could get money to start with, to create, to use to have some kind of outlet, to have creativity, so they have funds to do that. I do think that there's something really important.
Paint's in the middle. Like
Paint is a perfect right.
Was something that from the outside, you could say it looked like a ICO raise or
Yep.
like a raise.
100%.
But it was communicated super clearly. It was like, if you're a collector, these are $500. Buy as many as you want. The more you buy, the different your paint drop will be. And maybe you want a bunch of little one paints and not 150 in one paint. But like, it was
both.
this in the middle meaning where it wasn't, you weren't buying the paint because you wanted to put the paint drop on your wall.
Yes. I mean, yeah, actually 100%. The answer is yes. It's definitely more of like a mix of that, the ICO. and
But
the
paint would be paint if Fiwo hadn't already had an established art and commerce career for himself.
100%.
Right?
Yes. I agree
And
with you on that.
so I disagree with that, with the argument about that from paint, only in the sense that, you know, like I use this when the analogy of when Radiohead released In Rainbows, and it was a pay what you want strategy for their album, but you had to be Radiohead to be able to do that, right? You had to have your audience, you had to have your collector base already there.
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, listen, I think that I do think though buying art is very interesting in that you're sort of making an investment in the future of that artist. Meaning like in the past, it was about depreciation, right? But when I bought Kane's Defaced and Friends, I mean, the art sucks, right? It's terrible, right? I'm just a joke, but it's a personal joke. It's not a personal joke. Kane says this shit all the time, by the way. This is his whole thing. But when I bought Defaced and Friends, and I've had this conversation with Kane about it, he only had 100, and then you announced that you weren't releasing.
I bought mine for the
right.
art.
You weren't releasing anymore, and then I was like, wait, this is me. This is me. The closest I can invest in Kane as his IP, as his art, as his future. Now he may one day you may say like, I'm not using Defaced and Friends anymore, but the fact that he's like, okay, here's my core sort of 100, and I guess it goes back to similar like the skulls with Sam. To me, those are the best investments to make in the space, and I get very excited about those types of things. Not just buying the art. It's like, hey, where are they going with this? And I think,
but all those people are established. They're not like at a seed stage in their artist career where you're offering to buy the first.
You know, we're saying that they're established, but let's be honest,
established in our space.
Correct.
Like,
so
they've sold pieces for hundreds of thousands cumulatively, if not millions, if not tens of millions.
Yes,
between. Yeah,
I agree, but it's still early enough. Their outside world. They're just trying to build their establishment, right? So I think it's fascinating to me about buying. You know, like I love my Defaced and Friends.
The artist, Koopa Troopa invested in Daniel Allen. It's
I
like
thought that was great though.
What was that? They like I don't know if I remember it. It's like they value the artist's career at like $1 million and invested.
Again, I think
10%.
it
was a whole thing.
Yes, I don't know.
It was like. That's how we're gonna invest.
When he gets ill.
It was like a whole thing.
Okay,
not to call out another podcast.
No, it's fine. I agree.
Flowing.
I agree that like maybe the price and the wording and all that, but the idea of that, I think is really fascinating.
Is it better than a record label? Is it worse than a record label?
I feel like in the end it could be better than a record label because I do think the artist has more control, right? If you have, especially if you have strategic partners or people, or more fans or people who believe in you, like I'm never going to tell, Kane what to do with Defaced and Friends. But we've had many conversations about it, right?
And I say, fuck off.
Yeah, he just leaves. He tells me to fuck off all the time.
Benny, yeah.
I texted.
It's like, I need 2 derivatives, I want egg. Can you give me?
A lot of times, yeah. I mean, he usually tells me to fuck off.
Can you draw like a Pokemon that hatches out of the egg for me?
I want an egg. An inside the egg.
Don't tell everyone.
I do not want a fishing rod in the egg. Please.
I want an animal. But I do think there's something really interesting.
My Defaced and friend doesn't have a friend. It's
a Defaced and animal. Right.
Companion.
Is that what's coming? Defaced and companion? Is that what's coming next?
Kaws has companions, so I'm not.
Oh, you can't do. All right.
I get sued.
What do you think of Kaws? What do you want to say in front of everybody about Kaws?
He's all right.
Oof. You know what that means.
I had the opportunity to buy. This is the worst story. A buddy of mine who was in the streetwear movement.
After the story, you have to tell your other story about the punk, and then we'll go. Okay,
and then we got to wrap up because I have a podcast I have to do. But I had a buddy who was in the streetwear movement, and very early on, knew Kaws, all New York kids, right, and had bought from Kaws. Kaws is like Unlock, from what I heard from my buddy, was he had the key that got you into the advertisements on the side of phone booths back when there were advertisements.
That's so funny.
So he had the key. So what he would do is he would go in and draw on the ads, and those were some of his first pieces, or he would replace them.
Calvin Klein ad.
Right, exactly.
Stuff. So that'd be like
I didn't
bikini
know
model,
that.
and he put the skull.
That's such a fascinating story.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh.
And so my buddy had one of his in his basement.
That's cool.
And I went, and he needed money. And I went up to him and I was like, I think I was going to offer him 20 grand for it, because it was a very early Kaws piece. And we were basically trying to work out the deal. And then his basement gets flooded.
Oh, no.
And
My basement got flooded.
Yeah,
I didn't
lost
lose
forever.
art, but I'll never keep art in a basement again
Exactly, yeah.
after that flood. So he lost it.
So
So he could have had.
it was completely damaged. And yeah, he also needed the money too. And I was trying to help him out.
And he needed the money more after the flood.
For sure.
Like,
yeah.
fuck.
But I was like, to have an early Kaws. I mean, I've Keith Haring. I collect a lot of early street art.
He has great stuff.
And it was just like I was so depressed by that. But
But
also
the closest you've come to the early Kaws.
This
days.
is
sure.
brought to you by Wrecked, guys.
right,
What?
This part of the podcast
sponsored by Rick.
sponsored by Wrecked, guys. Can you
Yes.
tell us if you can tell us the
the
next
punk
story?
story?
Because you have to hear this story. It's pretty crazy.
So I used to have a creative agency, and we used to do innovation work, and I hired a programmer who was working with us, and at the time was like a 20-year-old kid, very brilliant guy, very creative guy, and so he calls me up, I think it's like 3 or 4 months ago now, and he goes, I need your help. Can you get on the phone? So we get on the phone, and he goes, I was really interested. He was exploring stuff tech-wise in the blockchain, because we were always trying to push it a little early to like sell it to brands. And he said, I was exploring some stuff on the blockchain, and he said I'd forgotten that I had put some bids on CryptoPunks in 2019, and he said I had thought I'd lost the seed phrase for the wallet. I did it, and he said I was on a train coming back from like Philly or something, and he's like, I remember where it was. So he finds it, he gets the seed phrase, he looks in the wallet, one of his bids was accepted. It was a hoodie punk with a mustache and he got it for $4. He won it for $4 in 2019.
You imagine this, dude?
This is the one I bought for 71 ETH in the summer.
And he goes, he goes, but I don't want it attached to me. He's like, he's worried. He's like now in his like mid to late 20s. So I said to him, I go, I'll give you 3 options. I said, 1, I'll trade you a Warhol. 2 was, I have friends who might want this. Let me go to them and see if they want to get it privately. Or 3, I'll ask some friends what you should price it at if you want to put it on the open market. Right? So we go through this. He's considering all of it. He declines the Warhol. He wants to buy an apartment with his fiance. Totally get that. All good.
Yeah.
Right? And then he says to me, he goes, let's
This
do
is
it.
bull market time.
A little,
Before?
Right. I mean, a little after, but again, very
So, like,
valuable
July
asset.
2021.
No, this is probably like fall 21.
Okay, so after
Bull market,
Punks went up
but
the
when
one-
we see punks in the rise when apes are coming down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was a really good time. I declined a 400 ETH offer on my punk.
Okay.
And it was like $1.6 million.
Right.
So he
yes.
must have done well
So-
if he sold it
so-
that fall.
So we go, and he says to me, and then he says, I'd like to actually remain anonymous.
Okay.
He's like, how do you feel about, I transfer it to you. We trust each other.
Yeah.
I'll transfer to you. You sell it. I'll give you a commission, like 20%.
Fuck yeah.
And then,
20%.
right. And then also you can have the rep of selling the punk, right? I was like, absolutely. Let's do this, right?
I'll lick a floor for 20%.
So this is on a Sunday. We're going through this. And then I send him a calendar invite. All right, Wednesday, we're going to talk it all through and finalize everything. Wednesday at 4:00 Eastern time. I get an email from him Wednesday at 3:30. And he goes, did you see my email? And so I check my email. And the email just says, I think I've been fished.
Oh, no.
And so we hop on the phone. We hop on the phone, and he's like, again, but the thing is, he's not in the NFT space at all, right? So he is like, oh yeah, I was like checking out my MetaMask or my on OpenSea, and I saw something in something about me kicks, and he goes, and I click on it, and I connect my wallet, all of my shit is gone. Dude. And this was literally half an hour before we were supposed to. And in my head, I'm like, why didn't I take him through security, right? Because like he had such a valuable asset. And what we see is literally within 10 minutes, what we see is it goes it sells for 169 ETH, then it sells like flips again for like 289. I think it is already, which is still like under probably what it should have been. I think we like originally valued around 300.
Is it that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I have this one with a pipe.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he goes, yeah.
But I know who owns this now.
Yeah. And he goes, I flagged it on OpenSea. You know, of course, that does nothing. But yeah, he literally goes from like unbelievable moment in his life. And again, mid-20s.
Trying to
buy an apartment with his girlfriend.
Like, nuts.
You know, and then
That's
yeah.
I had a friend,
the most depressing
similar,
story.
not a punk, but he's my best friend, only friend I trust enough to break into my house and access my cold storage. I was out at an event, and Murakami seeds came out for artifact things.
Oh, it was in Miami. I think I was with you, right?
I think it was like LA or
LA
it was in the April timeframe. I paid my friend 5 figures for 45 minutes of work, and he was extremely happy. And I paid him all in ETH. And within 2 weeks, he got fished and lost all of it. And he was like, he went from like being elated that like he just, and then Discord, fake DM, gone. And it's like, I didn't think to tell him to look out for that. Very similarly, because I know.
In my head, I'm like, if you only had taken the Warhol.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Like, we both would be good right now.
It's so hard. Like, I had a friend who got scammed on Coinbase. He got a call.
He got scammed from Coinbase or fake
No,
Coinbase?
from fake Coinbase.
Okay.
He got a call on
I
the
was like,
phone from Coinbase saying someone hacked into his account, went through his whole thing, and then he called me right after. He said, hey, I just got hacked in Coinbase, and they called me. I said, no, they didn't. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, that wasn't Coinbase. You know, he was new to crypto. He's like, are you serious? I was like, please check your account right now. Drives home, checks his account. It's gone. Gone. Can't sign in. Tries to get to Coinbase. Coinbase doesn't get back to him. By the time he gets in, all the money's gone. And, you know, it was like $50,000. Like, you know, it wasn't nothing. No, you know, it just, these scams, man. Like, this is why, like, I hate to say it. Like, everybody's like, decentralization. But there's going to be a world where we're going to have a mix a little bit, because the normies in the world, they're never going to be able to operate in this world feeling that they're just going to be able to get scammed every 2 seconds. They're going to want to have some kind of backup of some sort of safety net. Like, it's just what it is. Like, they just feel that way.
I mean, there was that period in my life where I was like paranoid to leave the house, and like, if the house burns down when I'm gone, it's all gone.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I have to have like off-site backups. And
Yeah.
all sorts.
That's why I leave stuff all over the place. I think
You just have like 19 different laptops.
I do. I have
15.
I have 7 laptops. I have 7 laptops now, and I have 4 phones.
Yeah, he's.
Which one of the laptops we share, just so you know. So
We share a laptop.
you want to share a laptop with
He
me?
has a login. He has a login for me on the laptop.
I do. I have a login.
I've never
for
used.
these.
Yeah,
He never uses it. Do you want to share a laptop with
I'll
me?
have a free laptop, yeah.
No, we don't.
Share it.
Yeah, just buy him a laptop.
You have to go
Free
scan
laptop,
your
sir.
finger at his house,
Yeah.
and then it only works at his house.
All right, I got a podcast I got to DJ.
Wait,
Okay, so guys, I want to say thank you for coming. This is we're just getting left one question, and then we're gonna go. Okay, Deez, you want to ask it?
We asked an album question. If you're stranded, if you're shipwrecked on an island, and you only have one album to listen to get you off the island, what is the album?
What do you mean to get you off the island?
Like meaning, like just
to keep you
busy.
in
Yeah.
some type of mental state, to have the fortitude to either pray that a ship comes and picks you up, or a plane, or maybe you build a raft and you paddle out. Like,
What are you
that
listening to?
I think Kane already answered.
Kane answered this question.
Yeah, I'm the architect of this show, I think.
Kane, I think, asked the question.
I think
I
he's
come up with a
actually
name.
think he came up with the question.
I come up with a name, done the
Na-
question.
Yeah, you did. He did. By the way.
Yeah, this is the first episode. The first episode we ever did. Of
He
this.
came up with the name, the question.
I branded it all.
The whole thing.
Nothing.
I think you made the art for it.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. By the way, you get nothing out of it because there's no
no
provenance
cut,
here.
yeah.
Sam, what's your? Because I know you're a big music guy, so I'm actually really curious about this. It's a great jacket, by the way.
Thanks, bud. I mean, I'm like a 90s hip-hop maxi, so for me, it's going to be in the genre. Probably It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back by Public Enemy.
Ooh.
Their sophomore album, just like so complex, so deep, so much to go through there.
Okay.
Nice. I mean, I remember some of the answers we've had have been wide-ranging.
Yeah.
From very simple.
We haven't had anything like that, actually.
No, that's the first.
I knew Sam would give a different answer.
That's good.
So I'm glad we asked it.
What's the
It's
like,
normally
what's the most
Taylor
interesting?
Swift album.
Yeah,
No,
of course.
I mean, I think Sam Spratt had a really interesting one where he said that he would bring an album from an artist that he didn't love but was considered a classic, so that he could better learn why they're considered a classic.
But imagine being on the island and hating the album.
You better learn.
Only, by the way, only Sam would bring an album
Right.
onto a desert island that he doesn't like.
Yeah,
Just so he could sit there and go, why would people like this? You know, like
for me, I would if I had to bring an album that I didn't love or like a artist's work that I didn't love, I'd bring the Beatles because I've never understood the Beatles, but like maybe on an island without other stimuli, like I could come to really appreciate them more.
I'm not sure that his music I just don't like. I feel like I just like when music comes out, I'm like.
I mean, I went to the My Lady rave, and I wouldn't say I liked the music there.
Yeah, I guess rave music I still don't
like
fully
180
get.
beats per minute. Just
I do like that like techno like space music.
That would get you off the island.
Yeah, like I really like. I just found this one that I played on my.
We gotta get Sam to his other podcast.
Yeah,
this was the warm up. He got his vocal.
Yeah,
cords
yeah.
warmed up.
By the way, he wants to come back on.
He got a variety of questions.
You have to text him.
Very little had.
We didn't push him. We didn't push him. On that note, talking about pushing,
We're talking about Sam. This Sam.
We're gonna get him back on.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you know we should get Sam and Sam.
Double Sam.
Sam
If you
double
really
Sam.
want to
And SBF.
And SPF. All three
Can
of
we
them.
get Sam from Sam from jail?
No, Sam.
Pays
We
back.
will have to get him back on. I want to bring some other good people that we know on with Sam this time. Sam is friends with some of the, in my opinion, some of the greatest OG minds in crypto that work at CoinDesk. That's why I always feel really strongly about what they do there. And I think Sam gets it because he's been around for so long. So I really want to thank you for coming on. I know you have Consensus coming up.
Yes, sir.
People probably won't see this before Consensus, but in my opinion, the best crypto event by far. And you're doing an incredible pass this year with generative art, which absolutely blew me away. So really just killing it. And also last thing is that Sam has really pushed CoinDesk and really himself on the beauty of the art that we're building in this community. So it's really been great to see. So thank you for coming.
No, thank
Sam.
you for having me. This is.
Yeah.
I have no idea what we did, but it was
Yeah,
fantastic.
no, that's, by the way, that's the point of this podcast.
Right.
Nobody
He
ever knows what we
shipwrecks
did.
it.
It's totally shipwreck.
And we just
Yeah, and Kane, I don't know, you just pop up when you're around, so.
Well, yeah, you said someone fucking fell out, so
Yeah, someone really
back
did.
up, yeah, B team.
By the way, he's not making that up. I said
he
someone
sent him a
did jump.
text. He's like, "Hey, I didn't originally think you'd come on the pod, but we lost our other podcast.
No, I
you
was
doing
with
it
him.
this
I was,
morning?
okay, I was with him last night. Kane and I hang out when we're together a lot.
You guys are friends.
Yeah, we're friends. And I said, hey, you want to come on the podcast? Someone didn't show up. And he's like, okay, mate. So,
Thank you.
no, but Kane, you know we love you. And
Yeah.
congratulations on the stuff. We're
Cheers,
really
mate.
excited.
We love Gurt.
Pleasure.
Love Gurt.
I have a scientist and a farmer.
I think I have like 7. I have a lot, actually. All right, with that, thank you.
Cheers.
All right.